Thank you, Dari. West Virginia remains ranked and undefeated because of the heroics of that man, sophomore quarterback Geno Smith. Last Friday, in just his second career start, he engineered back-to-back 90-plus yard fourth quarter drives at Marshall, which enabled the Mountaineers to prevail in overtime. It's very early in his career, but we may have seen the next great signal caller here in Morgantown, and we welcome you to a gorgeous day in the Mountain State for a matchup of unbeatens, Maryland at West Virginia. Rob Stone and former Georgia All-American David Pollack here with you. Glad you're with us today. After back-to-back 9-4 campaigns, West Virginia handed the QB reins over to sophomore Geno Smith. Today, just his third career start, but the folks in these parts, David, still talking about his second career start.
I think they're pretty happy that they handed the reins to Geno Smith. He's showing you, listen, Pat White, Jared Brown, those guys really were great runners of the football. What you're going to see is two 90-plus drives. How about late in the game, down 15, and still doing a great job of taking what the defense gives. Now listen, don't get it fooled. He can still run, but he just picks and chooses his spots a little bit better. And also look at the touchdown drive. Look at the last touchdown. Rolls out on the run. Great throw over the linebacker right in the end zone for a touchdown. And then you got to go for two. You got to convert it. Look at it. First option right here. You can see him right here. Sanders is his first option. He's covered up. So he doesn't throw to him. Look at the safety. Look at the linebacker. He's doing a great job. And now Sanders is going to catch the touchdown because Austin was a little bit covered up. Great job reading the defense. He was cool in the biggest moments last week.
Yeah, his body language really just exuded a lot of confidence, composure, and calm, and it's something for West Virginia to grow on. And we talked to head coach Bill Stewart yesterday. He tells us, don't make him out to be a folk hero just yet now, guys. And we understand, but he certainly has a long way to go to be the next Pat White. But boy, David, what a great start he is off to.
There's the folk hero.
Yeah. I'm always jealous of that beard. When we return, Geno's teammate and Heisman hopeful Noel Devine, he'll grab our focus. His grabs last week had the NFL excited. There was no fear in the turtle in 2009, but they've already matched last year's win total, and today is a border war. Plenty on the line for both these schools. More on this undervalued rivalry when we return to West Virginia. Including today, just 6 home games left in the career of West Virginia running back Noel Devine. Last week, he recorded his second straight 100-yard rushing game. The NFL scouts that came through Morgantown this week, they liked that. What they really enjoyed seeing is the fact that he pulled in a career-high 10 receptions in that game. Yes, Devine has the hands to go with those legs. Rob Stone joined by David Pollack. Those same NFL scouts then continue talking to the West Virginia staff saying, can you get him to return some punts as well? So we have some film of him doing that to look at if he can do that at the next level. The Big East coaches are saying, we've seen enough. We've seen enough of Noel. We don't need to get him on the field anymore. This guy has been destructive throughout his career.
Yeah, I mean, you think about the great players of West Virginia. You think about Steve Slayton. This guy was splitting touches at the end of his career because he's so dynamic. He is a little guy, only 5'8", 180, but he runs extremely well between the tackles. And he's got sneaky power. It will sneak up on you, but he can take a crease and say bye-bye in a hurry.
Devine, the reigning Big East Offensive Player of the Week. We shift gears to Maryland, and their head coach Ralph Regan quoted recently as saying about last season, it was the most difficult year I've had as a head coach. The only sense of urgency I have, quote, is getting that 2-10 taste out of my mouth. Well, a 2-0 start has brought some freshness of breath. He also has 2 breathtaking tailbacks to lean on.
No, absolutely. And I think this is what you want to see. You want a good running game. And Darrell Scott, this guy, 2 years ago, he was an All-ACC performer, but you saw last year he was a little bit banged up. But Megan has really done a good job, too. They said he's lost some weight in the offseason, got a little bit more explosive, so they really do got 2 #1 backs, which makes it always a lot easier on your quarterback, especially a guy that's not the most experienced in the world, like Jamal Robinson.
Meggett leads the team with 155 yards rushing. Just imagine what their numbers would be if they were the primary tailback. Now, these two schools separated by just over a 3-hour drive. It's the 47th meeting of a rivalry that doesn't get a whole lot of national hype, but these two programs, David, have really placed a very high value on this matchup.
Absolutely. I mean, you think about how close they are in location. Just alone, the border war with rivalries with recruiting. I mean, think about, you're going after the same guys year in and year out, and it's always a good feather in your cap if you can say, well, we just beat them. Why do you want to go play for them? Come with us.
West Virginia head coach Bill Stewart, 21-8 in 3+ seasons here in Morgantown. Led the team to back-to-back 9-4 seasons. Has been a part of this program since the 2000 year. And boy, he's one of those guys in the Bobby Bowden mold who used to also coach here. You could just sit and listen to him talk all day. And we had a great opportunity to meet with Coach Stewart yesterday. And he really likes his team, and he likes where they are mentally, coming off that really challenging overtime comeback victory on the road at an in-state rival in Marshall.
Well, I think you find out about a team when you hit adversity. And last week, I don't think it was that expected. I think everybody thought after the Ohio State-Marshall game that they were going to come in and blow them out. But, you know, you found out in the fourth quarter. He likes his team and what they showed in the fourth quarter, and now they get to take another step against a good Maryland team today. Maryland
won the toss. They will defer. So West Virginia will receive as these two unbeatens get set to kick off their third game of the year. West Virginia, they beat Coastal Carolina in a shutout, 31-0 in their opener, and then last Friday night, 24-21 win on the road at Marshall in overtime. Number 1, Tavon Austin, and number 9, Jock Sanders, back deep to return for West Virginia. And it'll be Nick Ferrara who will be kicking off for Maryland. Ferrara, a wonderful place kicker, has been bothered by a groin injury this season. This is his first action of the year. And we are underway from Morgantown. Austin receives it at the 5, cuts to his left, and struck at about the 23, a return of 18 yards. So here is the 6'3", 210 sophomore from Miami, Geno Smith. You see his season numbers already. Had 206 passing yards in week 1 versus Coastal Carolina. We watched him on film yesterday, David, and he was all that and more.
Yeah, he was. He's got the arm, but he's also got the poise, and I think Coach trusts him more after that last game, so passing will be maybe an option even more early.
1st and 10 from the 23. Devine to the right of Smith, and Devine gets a carry, and it's fumbled and recovered by Smith. And Smith has had some handling issues the last couple weeks as we take a look at the starting lineup for West Virginia. And Noel Devine, the senior, and here is Devine getting the quick pitch, cuts left, cuts right, and goes nowhere and loses some territory, a loss of 2 yards. And we talked with the West Virginia staff yesterday. They said to expect some passing early on, but instead they go no huddle, something that worked very well for them in the late stages of their game versus Marshall. 3rd and 14 from the 19. Devine, the lone back, to the right of Smith. 3 wideouts to the left of Smith. Across the middle, Devine. Across the 25 to the 30. And a first down. Make that Tavon Austin. Austin and Devine are borderline clones.
I 100%
number 1
agree.
and number 7. So from a distance, their numbers look the same. Their bodies are almost identical as well, David.
And look at Maryland bring the blitz early. Nice pickup, nice crossing route. And it's going to be yards after the catch. For Austin, you look at Jock Sanders the same way. Really electric guys after the catch.
Split backfield. And that is Devine to the left, and the hole for Devine. Noel Devine, 1 man to beat. Cuts inside, rides his blockers, and is taken down inside the 20. Alex Wojak with the hit.
He only needs a crease. He only needs a little bit of space. And when you watch this play, you're going to watch a nice little handoff. Watch the pause right here. A little bit of a pause, and then he cuts it upfield. Great block by Tavon Austin. And when he gets in the open field, he's just so hard to stop. And they're going to continue with the fast pace up-tempo here.
1st and 10 from the 16. They fake the give to the fullback, Ryan Clark. Smith rolls to his right, picks out a blocker, and runs out of bounds at about the 6-yard line.
And that's not what we've seen a lot from Geno Smith, but a great job with a little bootleg right there to get him on the move, give him a run play option. But he's had the pin put in the foot. He's had a little bit of problems running. He still shows you he's athletic enough to do it. But you start doing stuff like this with all this speed, it gets even worse to try to stop him.
First down on that scramble by Smith. So first and goal from the 6. Devine, nowhere to go there. And again, Wojak, number 33 with the tackle. Wojak, an all-ACC first-team linebacker last year for the Terps.
A throwback Mike linebacker, one of those guys that'll come up and hit you. And you look at the past couple years, he's a tackle.
A.J. hawking him with that hair.
You like the hair, huh?
So second and goal now from the 6. Smith looking left. Lobs it to the corner. Touchdown! Devine! Make that Austin. Again, 7 and 1 are going to cause havoc for everybody today.
Try being a defender. Try being a defender, try to stop both of them. But a great job. And I like what they did because they spread them out a little bit more. And I think that's what you need to do because your gifts are speed. You're electric. Spread the defense out. And a nice throw by Geno. Again, trust the young quarterback. He showed you last week that he's going to take care of the football.
Opening drive is good for West Virginia. 7-0 for the Mountaineers. Tavon Austin with his second career touchdown for the native of Baltimore, Maryland, who was very jacked up for this game.
All right, and you watch him, it's a great throw to the corner. And that's perfect throw, perfect timing. And Geno Smith trusting in him a little bit more. But look at that. I mean, that is perfect pass. Pretty decent coverage. But Austin and Jock Sanders, all these guys are really tough to defend one-on-one. Good protection up front and a good throw. So, you get some of Devine, you get some Sanders, you get some Austin, you get a little bit of everything.
7 plays, 77 yards, under 3 minutes. Noel Devine, 4 carries for 46 yards on that drive. And there is Austin, the native of Baltimore. His grandmother, who he calls his rock, is sick back home. And Coach telling us yesterday, boy, we've got to keep Tavon honest today because he is so jacked up to play a Maryland team and to do this for his grandma as well. And how about that, a touchdown reception for the sophomore. And what an opening, quick-paced drive for West Virginia. Austin, 2 grabs for 21 yards. Maryland's turn to respond, and Torrey Smith can do it right now. One of the most lethal kickoff return men in the nation. Torrey Smith kicks off. And Smith takes it inside his own 5, cuts to his left at the 20, and then dragged down at about the 21, a return of 19. Pat Miller there with the hit. There's a look at the junior from Charlotte, North Carolina, Jamar Robinson. Last season, he replaced senior quarterback Chris Turner and ended up starting the last couple games, played in 7 overall. Robinson, a dual threat quarterback. In fact, he's second on the team in rushing with 128 coming in. This just his 5th career start, so 2 young but very promising quarterbacks for you today. Rolling to his right is Robinson. Terrell Scott gets the start at running back, the 5th-year senior from Pennsylvania. Torrey Smith, we saw him return the kickoff, also a wonderful talent from the wideout position. Last season, Maryland allowed 36 sacks, 110th in the nation. 3 starters returned from that offensive line. Center Paul Pinniger, their most experienced and versatile of the group. 2nd and 10 from the 21. 2 wideouts to the left, 1 to the right of Robinson.
Delay of game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
So Ralph Friedgen and the Terps get backed up a little bit on this, their opening drive.
And we talked to offensive coordinator James Franklin yesterday. He talked about dead plays and not wanting to have them. You want to stay as ahead of the change as much as you can, because this is a run-first team. I mean, even at the quarterback position, he's a great runner. So, you know, now it backs you up 2nd and 15, and Ralph's not going to be too happy.
Just resetting the play clock, that's the delay. There's a look at Maryland's offensive coordinator, James Franklin. He is the head coach in waiting. He is under contract to succeed Ralph Friedgen by January of 2012. 2nd and 15 for the Terps. 2 to the right of Robinson. And they give to Scott. Loss of 1. West Virginia goes with 3 up front. Chris Nealed, Big East 2nd team performer, a senior from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Just look at your linebackers, J.T. Thomas, all Big East 1st team last year. Brandon Hogan suspended. In his place at the corner position will be Broderick Jenkins today. 3rd and 16 from the 15 for the Terps on their opening drive. Timeout, Maryland. So the Fridge will talk things over with his quarterback Robinson and the rest of the Terps. West Virginia scoring on their opening drive, going 77 yards. Geno Smith to Austin for the score. ESPNU College Football brought to you by the new 2011 Lexus IS Wheeled Precision. It has not been a precision-filled drive so far for Maryland. 2 plays, -6 yards in 54 seconds. That's going in the wrong direction fast. And now they have a 3rd and 16 from their own 15 for Ralph Friedgen and his Terps to deal with here. Already in the 7-0 hole.
Yeah, you talk about fast, starting fast. Yeah, on the road, you always want to get as much confidence in a relatively young, inexperienced quarterback. And this is not what Coach Franklin talked about with the momentum, being a momentum guy early.
Flag on the play. Robinson flushed out and dragged down. This could be West Virginia's 1st sack of the season.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense, 5 yards. Repeat 3rd down.
So West Virginia still one of only 4 teams in the country without a sack. And now it is 3rd and 21 from the 10 for Maryland. Robinson comes in with the play. You'll see a lot of odd formations throughout the broadcast by Maryland on offense. Ralph Friedgen, very creative with the way he uses his tight ends, wide receivers, fullbacks, halfbacks, and running backs. And another flag.
Delay of game. Offense. Number 11. 5 yards. Third down.
Give that one to the Mountaineer crowd.
Yeah, they're going crazy. This is always a great atmosphere, but this is frustrating. I mean, this is the exact opposite of what you want to see. You need some positive plays, and they keep going backwards. Now, at this point, you take your medicine. You run the football, you get it out of the end zone, you punt it, and you live with it, and you go, okay, that's positive, because right now we're just going backwards.
3 penalties for 15 yards on this drive alone. Robinson trips to his left. Make that 2 to his left. And another penalty.
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Offense. Number 11. 5 yards. Half the distance to the goal.
They've run out of yards. They now have to go half the distance. David, did you ever see the Saturday Night Live skit, the Really? With Seth Meyers and Amy Poehler? Really? Really? We have another penalty? 4 on this drive? Really? It's half the distance to the goal? Really? It's 3rd and 28 from the 3? Really? A nightmare start for Maryland here. David Neggett to the right of Robinson. Robinson under pressure. Eludes it, throws down the middle, complete, and dropped at the 10. A pickup of about 7, and clearly not even close to being enough. So mercifully for Maryland, that opening drive is just about to end.
Well, this is just dangerous. I mean, think about what you got, 3rd in eternity, and you're probably not going to get. That was a hold, by the way, in the end zone, which could have resulted in a safety. Nothing good happens by throwing this football. You want to try to get as many yards as you can and punt the ball.
Maryland with the short but high punt. Fair catch by Sanders. Punt of 37 yards. Last time West Virginia had the ball, they went 7 plays and 77 yards.
All right, guys, well, there's a couple things. You see the first play of the run, and the second play is a pass by Geno Smith. But what you see with West Virginia is the first play, they try to go more Coach Stewart traditional, pack it in and run the power running game. West Virginia does a better job when they start to spread you out and really use their speed. That's where they excel. That's where they make you put you in a bind.
Smith 2 for 2, 21 yards and a touchdown on that drive. Breaking the tackle is Sanders. They will get it in the hands of Sanders, Austin, and Devine any way they can. And the coaching staff telling us yesterday, David,
yeah,
you know, we don't have enough touches for these guys.
No,
we try to find them. We can't.
Yeah, Jeff Mullen, the offensive coordinator, said, I got plays designed to go to 9, 7, and 1. And I just got to find those spots to give them to them. But either way, all of them are just so fast.
Devine to the right of Smith. 2 wideouts to the right, 1 to the left. Maryland showing blitz. Smith steps into the pocket, down the middle, wide open, caught. Sanders dumped just inside of the 10, right at the 10 by Adrian Moten, a pickup of 32.
Yeah, and this is Geno buying time, doing a great job letting your receiver run down the field. But watch his eyes. As soon as he gets a rush, look at his eyes, still looking downfield to make a big play. And then you give it to Sanders, and you want to get him in space as much as you can. But look, they're still staying with the up-tempo offense. They're on the line of scrimmage. They're putting these guys in space, and it's not a good matchup.
And how about the footwork from the senior from St. Peter's?
Nice circle button.
You like that? Woo, a little spin. Devine. Now, we've noticed this on film, David. Devine, I mean, he's just obviously so much quicker, so much faster than his line, and even a lot of his wideouts.
Yeah.
He's very patient with those feet, waiting for those blocks to properly develop.
Yeah, he does a good job setting it up because, and the good thing is he can actually hide behind the line a little bit. If he just buys himself some time, being a shorter guy, it really benefits him.
Devine stays on the field. This time he's to the left of Smith. 2nd and 8 from the 8. Devine up the middle, surging towards the 5.
And you're attacking the strength of the Maryland defense. Their front 7 is really solid. Their defensive line is really solid. I mean, I think they want to stay on the edges as much as they can. That's where they're going to have a lot more success. And now you see they're spreading them out 2 by 2, and it's this makes the linebackers play in space a little bit more than they want to.
3rd and goal from the 5. Smith looks left again, wide open, another touchdown. Austin again.
It looks like a repeat, doesn't it? I mean, it looks like what we just saw. Tavon Austin now coming out of the backfield, but great protection to get up front. Maryland trying to be aggressive and blitz. Uh-oh, somebody slipped behind the defense, and that was a blown coverage. You're not supposed to be that wide open. I know he's small, but you can still see him.
Austin having a wonderful start. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns for the sophomore from Baltimore. 5 plays, 51 yards in 2 minutes and 12 seconds. West Virginia is making it look easy. The Mountaineers, the only ranked team in the Big East, putting an early beating on the Terps. 14-0 early from Morgantown. West Virginia quarterback Geno Smith has been perfect today. Literally 4 for 4, 58 yards, 2 touchdown passes. It has been an absolute dominant performance early on by the Mountaineers.
Picking up where he left off. I mean, you think about the 4th quarter last week.
And overtime.
Yeah, he was dynamite. 15 of 17, you know, leading his team down the field. Doing the same thing tonight. And Maryland's going to have to change what they're doing a little bit. You got to realize how fast these guys are. And if you want to play man-to-man coverage, you're going to have to get to the quarterback quicker.
Does Maryland need to change their offense already, down 14-0?
Yeah.
They've only had it once, but do they need to make alterations?
Here's what happens now. Everybody's tired because they're going to be on the field a lot with this defense. You see the drive. Now, listen, West Virginia, you could argue, scoring so fast it doesn't matter that much, but I think they're going to want to run the football and get some tempo back on their side. Corey
Smith kicks. Torrey Smith returns. Tripped up at the 20, down at about the 21. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues today as the BYU Cougars hit the road and take on Christian Ponder and the Florida State Seminoles in the All-State Game of the Week. That one coming up here at 3:30 p.m. Eastern. Danny Cannell makes his FSU broadcast debut in that one. The former Seminole QB heading back to Tallahassee to call that one with Pam Ward. And you know Pam Ward is watching this game right now because she is a diehard Terps supporter, and she does not like what she has seen early on. David Meggett on the field at running back for Maryland. Quick hitch to the left. Adrian Cannon with the reception.
I think it's important because you saw the delay of games. You saw the struggles. How about a quick pass? Get yourself in a rhythm. Start moving forward. That helps because they've been moving backwards. And now you just watch the clock. Look at the play clock. Jamar needs to do a good job of paying attention to that. And they need to get the plays in quicker, too, because you're already coming on 15, 10 seconds. If you want to make audibles at the line of scrimmage, you got to get lined up quick.
That first drive, it looked like Robinson was heading to the sideline every single time to get the play. Now Darrell Scott in the backfield to the right of Robinson. Robinson looking Scott's way, connects with him at the 30 and pushed out of bounds. Pickup of 3.
And Darrell Scott's
with the hit.
Darrell Scott's good. I mean, he's a dynamic playmaker. He's the home run threat. He's the home run hitter. You know, he was banged up a year ago, but the year before that, remember, he was an all-ACC performer. Does a great job making people miss.
Missed 5 games last year due to a broken arm. Just 426 rushing yards for him, and that was coming off an all-ACC first-team performance the year before. 2nd and 8 from the 33. Scott stays in. They run a little option, and it goes very, very short for Maryland. Again, the Terps still seeking their first down. There's Scott's numbers from 08 and 09. Scott still seeking his first 100-yard game this season. Coming in, he had a total of 100 yards on the ground. 3rd and 7 from the 34. The Terps still seeking their first down of the game. Robinson, well shy, and the punt unit comes on again.
We talked to defensive coordinators yesterday about Jamar and his ability to run the football and how concerned were they. This guy can really run. You watch the linebackers and freeze it right now. These guys all have vision on Jamar Robinson. They know exactly when he drops back to pass that he can be a dynamic runner. So they're going to keep an eye on that all game. They're not going to let that fool them.
The dynamic Jock Sanders back at his 15. He shifts to his right, fields it. No, it bounces by him. Did he touch it? He's in a panic mode, and let's see what the officials call. They're going to say Sanders down at the 3. Well, he really misread that one. Hard to tell if that touched him or not, but, well, when in doubt, cover it up, right?
Yeah. If that didn't touch him, he would have been running after him.
62. Here's a chance for the ACC to prove their mettle and start moving up the pecking order. And they got beat down bad last year. There's Ryan Clark. He's listed as a fullback. He'll get a lot of touches. And on film, David, you really like this guy, number 32.
Yeah, he's much more big and much more physical, but this is the guy that they need to bruise it. You know, if they want to go between the tackles, short yardage, goal line back, it's going to be Ryan Clark. And look, he's a big boy, almost 250 pounds. I think he's almost double Noel Devine. I mean, he's a load.
Coming away from Morgantown, West Virginia, and the Mountaineers have scored on their 2 opening drives. They have absolutely corralled this game, and this may be their first mistake of the afternoon.
Offense, number 59. Half the distance to the goal. 2nd down.
Coach Stewart not happy with that one. Matt Timmerman with the false start. Rob Stone, David Pollock back here with you in Morgantown. A matchup of 2 unbeatens. West Virginia at 2-0, the only ranked Big East team right now. Maryland, coming off a really tragic 2-10 season, has responded by winning their opening 2 games of the year, but they have had a woeful start here. Again, the give to the big fullback, Clark. Clark, 8 touchdowns last year, had over 60 carries, and has really improved his blocking, which is very important for number 7, Noel Devine. 2 drives, 12 plays, 128 yards, 2 touchdown grabs by the sophomore from Baltimore, Tavon Austin. Maryland in their first 2 drives littered with penalties and not a first down to be seen. 3rd and 5 from the 8 for West Virginia. Austin in motion, and another flag.
False start. Offense, number 2. Half the distance, 3rd down.
Might be contagious. West Virginia had the yips, and now it's moving over to the offensive line.
We talked about the triplets, Devine, Austin, and Sanders. So far, they got 121 yards out of the 128. So they're doing a great job. Look for one of those guys.
Speaking of triplets, trips to the right of Geno Smith. Devine to the left. 3rd and 9. Breaks the tackle, does Austin. Down the right side. And West Virginia now a perfect 3 for 3 on 3rd down. Dexter McDougal there to get him out of bounds.
Yeah, and this is all after the catch. This is all Austin. Nice throw, but you got to the football. That is exactly why right there, because if you think these guys are tackled in the open field, you got something coming. Most of the time, one guy is not going to bring down one of these triplets.
Yeah, emphasizing get people on the ground. Don't assume your teammate will make the play.
Yeah.
And for good reason. They watched that Marshall tape as well. It takes a lot to bring down the 7-9-1 combo of Austin, Sanders, and Devine. Devine and Clark in the backfield, split around Smith. Smith going right, going long, and another completion. Austin again has been absolutely lights out. A pickup of 28 for the sophomore.
And this is one thing that's very important. With this offense, it is so much about getting the ball out quick, taking shots deep, and keeping the defense off balance. But Gino does a good job keeping his eyes the middle of the field, then looking right and making the throw, just holding safeties. And that's a great play. Young guys don't do that a lot of times.
Coaches say he plays beyond his years. Again, Smith, just a sophomore, a true sophomore at that for Miami. His third career start, you wouldn't know it. Another completion, this one to Sanders. Boy, the yards after the catch for this program, absolutely outstanding this season.
And Gino doing a great job of just taking what the defense gives you, staying patient, and we've talked about that too, because those guys are going to get upfield, and they are going to make plays. And I like the hurry up. You're having success with it.
They go to the ground this time. Devine hit hard inside the 30.
You could see Maryland. They were trying to get off the field as fast as they could. But with the hurry-up offense, you start changing personnels. They tried to bring in more speed. You could see there's about 13 guys on the field.
Illegal substitution, number 33 on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, 1st and 5.
I'd like to see what Ralph Friedgen's blood pressure is at right now.
You can see it. Look, they're trying to substitute. Look at these guys. They're all trying to get off the field right now. And because of the hurry-up up-tempo, they can't do it. And they're not in position. And this is something that defenses hate. I mean, because you try to match up with all these speedsters. Give me some more speed. And it's too late by the time you get up the line of scrimmage.
That gum getting a workout by the fridge. And West Virginia driving again. Third drive, looking for their third touchdown. Smith will keep it, avoids one tackle, and dives to about the 20. Pickup of 7. Geno Smith has been flawless today. 7 for 7 through the air, 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. And yeah, his legs can do some damage as well. And quickly, West Virginia with that first down gets back to the line. 2 wide outs, each to the left and the right of Smith. Give to Devine up the middle. To about the 15. Give him 5. $132 total yards.
So you draw it up right there. 7 for 7.
That's a good game. We're still in the first quarter. Austin, ball loose, and finally a break for Maryland.
And this was the one thing that plagued them last week against Marshall. They moved the ball well, but they put it on the turf. And all you got to do is cover up the ball. And it's tough sometimes because you want yards after contact. But watch. And remember, this isn't a running back. This is Tavion Austin. But a great job by Alex Wojak coming in, stripping the football out. That you needed this. You had to have this. But you got to tuck that away. Great job ripping it out.
Now, Wojak, the all-ACC performer, ripping it out of the hands of Austin. And Maryland was looking at a 21-0 deficit here, perhaps. Maryland showing pass right now. And again, a quick hit and almost picked off. Telegraphed, and Sidney Glover almost had.
Wow, he knew it was a pass too. What a great break on the football. This is why they play defense a lot of the times, but great break on the football. Read the quarterback all the way. He knew that was coming. Oh, that was 6 me right there. Hey, in the meeting room, You'll be ripping on each other about that one.
Maryland just
Still a good play.
23 total offensive yards, 1 on the ground. Fake the give, complete to Kerry Boykins for a pickup of 5. Boykins, the sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia, his first reception of the season.
Now this is a better range. When it's 3rd and 5 and you've got a running back / quarterback like Jamar Robinson, this is a tough situation to put your defense in because you have to have somebody spying him for the run.
We'll call it 3rd and 4. Maryland 0 for 2 on 3rd downs as the first quarter starts to wind down. Under a minute. Option, keeper, drag down, punt unit comes out. Chris Nealon, one of those guys that the coaching staff tells us is a dominant player that not a lot of folks know about, but the NFL scouts very aware of what he does.
Nose tackles don't get love. They don't get any love whatsoever. It's one of the tougher jobs on the football field, and especially a 3-4 or 3-3-5 stack like West Virginia runs. But Coach Stewart also said that the NFL scouts were paying attention to this guy. They're paying attention, and that matters.
Maryland now 0 for 3 on 3rd down. We'll see if they get this punt off in time before the first quarter expires, and they do not. Ah, maybe they did. Fair catch called at the 38. Sure looked like the clock expired there, but who knows? Punt of 34 yards. Geno Smith with his feet. Geno Smith with his arm. 14-0 West Virginia. A lot to be happy about here in Morgantown as the home team is just dismantling Maryland through the first quarter. 212 total yards for West Virginia. Maryland, 29. That's a bit of a discrepancy, David.
Just a bit. It's great analysis.
Thank you. But here is Maryland with their defense back out on the field. 1st and 10 from the 38 for West Virginia. Little sweep to Austin. He fumbled it last time he had the ball. Holds on to it this time.
Shows a little confidence. He might have fumbled it last time, but you see a lot of wide receiver motion and a lot of motioning people around for West Virginia so they can keep you off balance, especially with the speedsters.
Pickup of 8 brings up 2nd and 2 from the 46. Geno Smith through the air. He's been perfect so far, and that continues. Stedman Bailey, his high school teammate back at Miramar High School outside of Miami. 18-yard pickup.
And this is what's going to happen when you run the ball so effectively, is you're going to get one-on-one matchups, and that's a purposeful throw on the back shoulder. Good throw by Geno.
Geno through the air. Geno another completion. A little stiff arm from Devine.
Geno Smith's pass
short of the first down.
Robinson on the tackle.
And again, West Virginia going with this hurry up, no huddle offense. And it has worked wonderfully. Again, 2nd and 2 for the Mountaineers. Devine inside the 20. Pickup of 13.
There's nothing harder on a defensive line or a defense as far as communication and wearing you out with no huddle. They just continue to come and come and come, and you don't get a break. Look at that. You get to hands on the hips. There it is. Hands on the hips. Just start sucking air, sucking for oxygen.
Devine now with 69 yards on the ground already. More to come. They fake the give, and down goes Smith. Adrian Moten is there. Moten, team best 9 tackles for losses and 6 sacks last year.
And this is what they got to start doing. They got to start getting Geno to the ground. They've got pressure on him a couple times, but just coming free, a little miscommunication off the edge. But Adrian Moten's okay with that. He'll take the sack.
Smith eludes the pressure, stops, cuts, and drops.
Geno Smith on the scramble.
Joe Villano, the sophomore from Rexford, New York there.
No dig.
Villano, the coach is saying, boy, he's got a non-stop motor, had 10 tackles and 2 sacks in that big win in week 1 versus Navy. Smith is 9 for 9, looking for 10 for 10. Touchdown! Stedman Bailey, 26-yard grab.
Nice going up, catching the football. Ooh. The hand comes down first. So this will be under review. There's no doubt about that. You wonder if his hand touched first, because if his hand touches first out of bounds, it might not be a touchdown. His feet were definitely in, but they weren't on the ground yet. So whatever touched first, see if we can see his hand. It's a great throw. He did a great job diagnosing the man-to-man coverage. I think it's just that hand. But here it is a little bit closer. Feet aren't down yet. Foot's down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the foot was down first.
And again, the ruling on the field was
touchdown.
Touchdown.
Yeah. Well, the foot has to hit before the hand. That's the thing. If you're looking at his right hand, and if that hits out of bounds, he would have been out. But his foot hit first, and it doesn't matter if his whole body hits out of bounds.
Actually had a chance to go down to the replay booth before the game to talk the guys up. And boy, let me tell you, that's like a man cave down where they are.
Bunkered in?
Oh, man, it's flat screens, high def. They're rewinding, calling up plays. I'm like, man, you guys got it better than we have it up in the booth.
You want to switch?
Might do a little flip-flop. You know, they got phone lines all over the place. They just pick up a phone, boom, they're calling our TV truck. Hit a button, boom, the buzzer on the official's hip goes off. And they got it all down there. I didn't see the refrigerator.
No refrigerator?
Maybe they hit it. But they got it all right down there in the replay booth, I'll tell you. Another look at this touchdown reception for now by Stedman Bailey.
Yeah.
Further review. The call on the field is confirmed. Touchdown.
Geno Smith, 10 for 10, 172 yards, 3 touchdowns. Watch out, Big East.
Yeah. This isn't what we're used to. You know, we're not used to Pat White and Jared Brown and those guys. We're used to those guys running with the football more, but Bill Stewart talked about it. They've made more of a conscious effort to throw the football, and it looks like Geno's the guy that's going to be pretty good at it.
Tyler Bittencourt with that extra point now has 100 career points. What a start for the Mountaineers. On top of border war rival Maryland, 21-0. Right now, West Virginia is the one dealing the knockout blow. Up 21 love on Maryland. Still 12 and a half to go in the first half. There is Stedman Bailey. Touchdown reception. Now get on back out there for special teams, son. Torrey Smith at his 9. Goes left. They need some return yardage, and they get it inside the 40. Return of about 30. Corey Smith there with the kickoff, and Torrey Smith slow to get up, holding his right knee. If you were trying to find a way for things to get worse for Maryland, you may have just found it. That is something that'll make you catch your breath if you're Maryland. So the Terps will go without Smith right now.
And they need some positive plays.
Meggett with the run. Might be a face mask here. David Meggett, number 8, with the run, the son of David Meggett.
They got their flags covered out there.
Yeah.
I think everyone threw one.
Face mask on the defense. Number 8, 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
You don't want to give an inch, and you could see he grabbed his head. I don't know how much of the face mask he got, but anytime the head jerks down, the refs are definitely going to call that.
Yeah, I don't think he got any of the face masks, just
Yeah.
a whole lot of helmet.
But Maryland needs something. They've got to have something go their way here. And that might be something that sparks them a little bit, but running the football, some positive plays.
A big return by Torrey Smith, and now that flag, and finally Maryland is in West Virginia territory, and maybe we spoke too soon.
5 yards, first down.
Well, they talk about things happening in threes. Right, David?
Yeah.
One of these teams will be 3-0 at the end of the day. Maryland has had 3 drives. They've had 3 punts. West Virginia has had 3 touchdown drives, all of them under 3 minutes long. Meggett with the run. Again, real nice deception there by Robinson, and the Maryland offense makes you think, makes you be smart, and makes you use that thing above your shoulders.
Yeah, and it's a tough offense because they do so much, and they might come out with 3 tight ends or 3 receivers, but yeah, also for West Virginia, we talk about too their defense. It's a little interesting.
Designed run by Robinson. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues tonight with 2 games. First at 7 Eastern, it's a battle in the SEC. Jordan Jefferson and LSU, who, oh, by the way, host West Virginia next Saturday, take on Mississippi State. And at 10:30, UNLV versus Idaho. Both those games live tonight on ESPNU. 0 for 3 on 3rd down so far are the Terps, and it's now 3rd and 9. Flag on the play. Robinson, his arm hit as he threw it, as that one fluttered harmlessly to the ground. But again, a flag on the play.
Ball's incomplete, intended for Ronnie Tyler. Flag on the play.
Illegal formation, offense.
Love to know the thoughts that are going through Ralph
Illegal
Friedgen's mind
formation
right now.
On
No,
the
you wouldn't.
offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
I got recruited by Coach Friedgen. You don't want to know his thoughts right now.
Yeah, if you had one of those sensor buttons,
Yes, you
we
would
could
need
play it, or maybe we could move the show over to HBO. ESPNU Blue after hours.
That's just disheartening. I mean, they come with a blitz, West Virginia. It's hard to blitz Jamar Robinson, but they needed something positive to happen. 3 points would have been a victory.
Sanders back deep for West Virginia, and this one will bounce, and fielded awfully casually at the 1. So West Virginia backed up. They know a little thing about 90-plus yard drives, though. This won't put any fear in them. Good day to be near. They're on top. 21 love. West Virginia's offense getting set to come back onto the field. They already have a 21-0 lead over Maryland, and David, they have done it in a very balanced manner.
No, absolutely. You've seen over the years it's been all run, but Noel Devine doing a good job early in the game with some big runs, and then Geno Smith sprinkling in the pass, doing a good job of keeping them off balance. Okay, back to the run, back to Devine, giving him some space, but so important for most offenses to stay balanced. And Geno, I think, is the first quarterback that West Virginia's had that they feel like they can throw the football a lot more. And, you look at his numbers, I see why. I mean, 10 passes, 10 completions, 173 yards, and 3 touchdowns.
His longest completion, 32 yards. He's coming off a 26-yard touchdown pass to his high school buddy, Stedman Bailey. Ryan Clark back in at fullback for the Mountaineers with Devine. That'll be the fullback, Clark. West Virginia's had a nice little recent run at the fullback position. A.J. Francis with the tackle. Second and 7 from the Mountaineer 5. Fake the give, through the air goes Smith. And there's his first incompletion of the day.
There's two schools of thought. When you're back in the black zone, when you're coming out of your own end zone, A lot of folks like to run it, pound it, get it out, maybe not take any chances. I like the play action. You know, you're trusting your quarterback. He's in a good rhythm. He's in a good flow. It's the first bad pass he's thrown all day. The first pass that's hit the ground so far for him.
Third and 7. They've been wonderful on third down today. They'll try and get it on the ground. And we'll have to see where they mark it. Alex Wojak with the tackle. Wojak forcing a fumble earlier today. First down. West Virginia still yet to punt today. And Devine picks up 7 in the first down. First and 10 from the 13. Devine, 9 carries, 73 yards so far. Split backs with Smith. Short gain for Devine. We talked to Bill Stewart yesterday, and one of the first questions we asked him, David, is, you know, what did you learn about your team with that huge comeback on the road at Marshall? And he said one word: resiliency.
Yeah, it's the first time they were tested. You know, it's the first time to see what these guys, the younger guys, are made of.
Smith from the shotgun throws it to the ground, and that was an intentional incompletion.
Might be intentional grounding.
There is a flag on the field.
Remember, the ball has to go past the line of scrimmage, and it didn't look like the ball did. It was a smart play by Geno Smith getting rid of the football because he saw it wasn't there. But you got to get it past the line of scrimmage.
Referee Tom DeJoseph and his staff discussed this one.
I love the guys that try to get in the huddle and listen to him. I was always that guy too, annoying.
There is no foul on the play for intentional grounding. There was an eligible receiver in the area.
Yeah, I know, there's no doubt about that. Devine was right in the area.
You got that one covered,
that wasn't
guys.
the debate. The first time they've tried to screen, though. I mean, this is a heavy screen team, and it's the first time they tried to throw it. But they're 5 of 5 so far on third downs for West Virginia.
West Virginia has won the last 4 in a row versus Maryland. They are flawless on third down, but this one is 3rd and 11 from their 12. Again, Smith very composed. Maryland drops back into coverage. Smith down the middle, caught! To about the 39, maybe the 40. Jock Sanders, the senior from St. Petersburg.
Wow, just doing everything right. I mean, Geno being very decisive with the football, and especially down the middle of the field. You see Wojak trying to cover Jock Sanders. That's a mismatch every day of the week. You know, speed like that, you can't cover.
Devine bottled up at the 40 for no gain. Noel Devine, he and Jock Sanders put out some feelers with the NFL last year, and coach said, hey, if you guys are guaranteed 3rd round or better, I say you go. And a zip out pass to Sanders. And they didn't like what they heard back from the NFL, and both those guys deciding to come back for their senior year. And Bill Stewart saying it tells you a lot about this program, tells you a lot about those 2 individuals.
Yeah, I mean, both guys coming back that had a chance to play on Sundays. And anytime you can do that, it sets a standard, too, for everybody else. You know, you see guys start to follow the trends. And, you know, you got 2 guys that know the system, that are heady, that are playmakers.
Foul, late hit, 72 on the defense. 15 yards, automatic first down.
That's Joe Villano, the sophomore from Rexford, New York. Dives in late.
And you can see Jock Sanders is on the ground. I mean,
no need.
That's a late hit. See the defensive guy saying that was a late hit.
If David Pollock is saying it is an infraction on the defense, it truly is. Maryland with their 6th penalty. Trips to the left of Smith. Devine in the backfield, and again Smith will go shotgun. Gives to Devine. No gain.
Hartsfield on the stop.
Demetrius Hartsfield on the stop.
Sticking with the no huddle, sticking with the fast pace.
It's worked pretty well so far. Why change it? They give to Devine again, and he goes to the right. Found a little hole there, surged to about the 33, a pickup of 6.
And it was, again, a good job of him setting up his blocks, staying patient. Coach Stewart talked about it yesterday, riding the wave, really like you're surfing and catching that perfect wave at the right time.
It's fun imagining Bill Stewart surfing, by the way.
I know he's got a smile on his face.
Devine stays in the game. 2 wideouts to the left and the right of Smith. West Virginia, 3rd and 5. They are 6 for 6 on 3rd down today. Smith rolling to his left, tough ball, and he throws that one away. So finally, West Virginia fails on a 3rd down conversion. And now West Virginia debating if they're going to punt it or not.
Take a timeout.
Timeout. West Virginia. First charge timeout.
First timeout of the game for West Virginia as they talk this one over.
I know what the players are saying.
Go for it.
Absolutely. Coach, we're running up and down the field. We're having a lot of success. Let's go ahead and go for it.
Well, you know, just think what another score would do to Maryland and their mindset. Already in a 21-0 hole.
Yeah.
Tack on a little bit more as we close in on halftime, and you might be able to say, guys, we might be able to pull some horses back because next week we're in Baton Rouge to take on LSU,
Yeah.
oh, by the way.
Tough place to play, but also, too, look at where you're at. You know, 34-yard line. How confident do you feel in your kicker in that far, or do you just want to go for it? Because that's not that bad a field position to give up. But you look at their schedule coming up. At LSU stands out. That is by far the toughest place I ever played in the SEC. I mean, just crazy, loud fans do a great job of supporting the team. South Florida will be a good challenge, and then you start to get in.
Well, South Florida does begin the Big East play for West Virginia, the first of 7 Big East games. Coach saying, yeah, Big East, it's like a 7-round championship fight, and it starts October 14th versus USF. And West Virginia is going to go for it on 4th down. They need 5. Smith, incomplete. Intended for Sanders. Coach trying to coax a flag out of the officials. No dice. Antoine Perez.
And that was, the ball was thrown just a little bit behind him. I mean, otherwise you got the matchup you want right at the sticks. He just throws it a little bit behind him and gives him a chance to make a play on the football. Otherwise, he might have had a chance to get the first down.
So the Maryland D holds. Now the offense needs to show up. Terps down 21 in Morgantown. All right, thanks, Dari. Chris Doring in the studio with you this week because our friend Matt Stinchcomb has found another Hall of Fame to induct him into.
How many more can he get into?
I think it's up to like 10 right now.
Jeez.
What Hall of Fame is he? Is it the University of Georgia Sports Hall of Fame this week?
I think so, yeah.
Lose track after a while. Torrey Smith, good news for Terrapin fans, back out on the field after a right leg apparent injury when he returned a kickoff. Darrell Scott also in the backfield behind Jamar Robinson. Robinson hit after he released it, going deep, and overthrows his receiver, Torrey Smith. And Robinson took a hit, and Maryland will employ a second quarterback at some point today. They have no problems bringing in redshirt freshman Danny O'Brien off the bench for ideally a series every half. They're probably reevaluating that a little bit now, down 21-0. O'Brien, much more of a passing quarterback, as you see a look at the young man from the Charlotte, North Carolina area. They're really high on his talents. Robinson, 4 of 7 for just 28 yards. Low snap, looks to his right. Nice grab by Scott. And a first down for Maryland. Pickup of 11. Darrell Scott ran with the Maryland track team in the winter, hoping to improve some of his breakaway speed.
Nice.
6 100-yard rushing games for Scott. You looked at him on tape yesterday, and your quote, "How good is he?" He's really liked it.
Yeah. Good job catching the ball in the backfield as well.
That's a tough grab.
Yeah.
First and 10 for Maryland. Shotgun for Robinson. Scott peels to the left and catches it. Splits 2 defenders and another first down for Maryland. A good positive drive here for the Terps.
And 2 good throws, 2 not very complicated throws, you know, taking what the defense is giving you, but why not give it to your playmaker in the flat? That's not hard to do. He's got a lot of space. They're playing deep, playing a lot of cushion. And I think you want to find ways to get Darrell Scott the ball in space because he's going to make people miss, and he'll give you some big plays.
Just the 4th first down of the game for Maryland. By comparison, West Virginia already has 14. And
this is the Achilles heel.
Have we seen 14 flags today?
Offense, 5 yards, first down.
You can't keep going 2 steps forward, 1 steps back. I mean, you got to keep the dead plays out of here. You got to stay ahead of the change and keep it up. You can't take that throw every time to the flat if it's starting to be 3rd and 15. So they just can't. They keep shooting themselves in the foot with offsides and delay of games. They got to get positive plays.
First and 15 from the 47. Scott to the right of Robinson. Robinson hit as he releases. Loose ball. West Virginia thinks they've recovered it if it was even a completion.
It's a corner blitz. You're going to see from the top of the screen a little delay. Doing a great job.
Yeah, Anthony Leonard.
That's a good job. Holding them up.
And it is a turnover.
And you see it so much with guys trying to fight for extra yards and lean back, and that's a heads-up play.
They were big man following on the ball. Yeah, so ripped out by Leonard, recovered by Barry. There's Anthony Leonard, 9 tackles in their win at Marshall last Friday. He's had some off and on playing time the last couple years, and now he's a starter, and they are reviewing this one up in the booth to see if he even had possession.
It's a great catch, first of all. It was a one-handed stab to catch it, but that's just a great job ripping the ball out. Sure looked like a fumble, and then when they call it on the field a fumble, it makes it worse. But there's a corner blitz coming off the outside. Keith Tandy says hello.
Robinson has taken some hits today. Again, West Virginia still seeking their first sack of the year.
And that's a tough stat because it's overblown sometimes, because you'll take 100 of those. You know, it doesn't have to be a sack, but if you're affecting throws and making the ball come out of that quarterback's hand and making them go to different spots. Look at Alabama. They got 1 sack this year. I mean, you saw Robert Bolden get hit like a piñata back in the pocket last week.
Well, we talked with defensive coordinator Jeff Castile about that 1 sack. It was one of our opening questions, and before we could even get it out, he's like, look, you're not doing your job if you don't ask.
After further review, the play stands as called on the field. It's a fumble recovery, first on West Virginia.
So Castile will be happy with his defense there. He said, you know, look, we once went 5 games without a sack here and finished up in the top 20.
Yeah.
I'm not overly worried about it, but trust me, we've been telling our kids that we don't have a sack this week.
Oh, yeah. Sacks are like hits sometimes. You might go in a little bit of a slump in baseball, but then you just start getting a few hits and they come in bunches. But it's not always indicative of the pressure you're getting on a quarterback, because interceptions are caused from pressures and making quarterbacks feel uncomfortable.
After the turnover, first and 10 at the 47 for West Virginia. Five wideouts now for Smith. Down the middle to Sanders. Fifth catch of the game for Jock Sanders. 1 more and he will leapfrog Antonio Bryant up into 4th place on the all-time receiving list at West Virginia. 2nd and 6 from the 49. Devine to the right.
Still mixing it in, still keeping it balanced. This is an impressive offense as far as you're used to so many runs from this Virginia Tech squad, and now he's doing a good job of mixing it up and keeping them off balance.
Devine just 18 shy of yet another 100-yard game. It would be his 18th career time. He's hit the century mark.
Third and short.
Little power eye. Ryan Clark comes in. Big man showing his feet.
Now this brings Coach Stewart back to the glory days. This is what Coach Stewart's used to, and this is what you're used to from him. The power football, you know, 2 tight ends, 2 backs, lining up and running it downhill. He talked about it yesterday. Yeah, I got away from it a little bit, but, you know, we're going to work with what we got. What we got's working, that's for sure.
3 to the left of Smith, 2 to his right. We'll spread everything out again. This is where they are so dangerous. Remember, Smith started this game 10 for 10 with 3 touches. Picks that up. Another easy reception down the middle. Austin already has 2 touchdowns inside the 25. Pick up a 14.
It's consistent. It's yards after the catch. These guys can stick their foot in the ground so quick. And you watch him when he comes across the middle. How do you stop this? Watch him stop on a dime and cut back. And Austin can do it. Jock Sanders can do it. Devine can do it.
How do you stop it? You're the defender.
Close your eyes and swing.
Little sweep, and they give it to Sanders.
Sanders on the carry. Chased down by Kenny Tate.
Second and 10 now for West Virginia. Closing in on more points off that turnover forced by the defense. Smith under center. Devine in the backfield.
Behind the ball carrier. Tackle by Note.
Log on to Facebook.com/ESPNU today. Become a fan. And here's our big question. Will the ACC or Big East win more games this weekend? Well, right now the Big East doing all right here in Morgantown.
The head-to-head matchup.
3rd and 10 from the 23. Only once this afternoon has West Virginia failed on 3rd down. Pressure to the right of Smith, and he is clocked. Coughs it up. Loose ball recovered by Maryland.
Smith sacked on the flag fumble.
And one thing we talked about with the smaller backs with Noel Devine, you have to do a good job in pass protection. And Noel Devine does a terrible job right here at the top of the screen. He opens up the gate a little bit and leaves his quarterback out to dry. And listen, he's a smaller guy. It's a tough matchup. But Noel Devine, a lot of times you see backs go low, but that was a trying to stay up high and trying to make a play. And your quarterback's telling you about that one.
Drew Gloucester with the recovery. So another turnover. What can Maryland do with it? Reception by Torrey Smith. Under 2.5 to go here in the first half. Maryland being shut out. Pat Miller with the hit. Second turnover of the game for West Virginia. 1 for Maryland.
Both times on this side of the 52 when you're going in to score. You're not going to be happy about that.
2nd and 1 now from the 47. Robinson looking right, steps up, he can run it. He slings one to his tight end. Incomplete. Intended for Matt Furstenberg, the sophomore from Princeton, New Jersey.
This has been a one-sided affair, there's no doubt about it, but if you look at it right now, it's 21-0, 2 minutes left. If you can come down and get a scoring drive, you get the ball after the half, so you could cut the lead to 7. So you got to come down and get some positive vibes and get some points on the board. In the second half, you'll get the ball first.
Terps still seeking their first 3rd down conversion of the afternoon. This just 3rd and 1 from the 47. Shotgun, Robinson steps back. into the pocket, avoids the sack, and finally is dropped. Loss of 4, sack number 1 on the year, and give it to Chris Nealed. Robert Sands struggling to get up.
And this is the problem this defense presents. You don't know where they're coming from. You watch, everybody's crossing and looping, and you see JT Thomas come in there, make him step up in the pocket. You see Robert Sands, the safety number 2, stepping up and make him look at the pocket. But what do you want to do? I mean, look at Jamal Robinson and what he has to go through to try to make a throw down the field. But a minute 19 left, you needed something positive.
Nealed with the sack for West Virginia, their first of the campaign. Sanders at his 15, tripped up and down at about the 18 as he stumbled on that return. Opening drive for West Virginia. Tavon Austin, 6-yard grab from Geno Smith. Next drive, those two hook up again. Looked awfully similar. And then in the second quarter, Stedman Bailey with a 26-yard touchdown grab to make it 21-0.
Personal foul, late hit, 24 of the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
And that's the kind of penalty that makes you probably rethink what you might do here. You know, I mean, I think a minute 06, you got timeouts, 2 timeouts left. You're throwing the ball extremely well. You trust it in your quarterback. You might have gone for it at the 20, but now you're backed up to the 9. I think maybe a conservative approach might be coming from West Virginia now.
Personal foul on the return by West Virginia, backs them up inside their 10 with a 21-0 lead. Devine, 83 yards on the ground. Austin, 6 grabs, 92 yards, 2 touchdowns. Those are complete game numbers, and we're just about done with the first half. Ryan Clark, the fullback, holds on to the ball, crosses the 15. As the clock continues to tick, Adrian Moten with the hit. Maryland's active career leader with 19 tackles for loss and 13 sacks. Moten versus Navy. That iconic image leaping over the offensive line for that big hit and that big goal line stand for Maryland. They're going to need their offense to show up in the second half if the goal line stand is going to be of any worth to them today.
Interesting timeout. 50 seconds left. They got 8 yards on first down. It wasn't like they got 2 or 3 or they got a sack. They only got 1 timeout left.
Let's go back to week 1. Happier times for the Maryland program. Navy going for it on 4th and goal. 37 seconds left in the game, and they're trailing by 3.
To the wide side. Dobbs did not make it.
As my friends like to say, denied.
Oh yeah, Kenny Tate
stop.
Sticking his head up. That's a tough, and they did it multiple times. They did 4 stops in the red zone.
That's just a huge win for Maryland. That stopped the bleeding of 7 consecutive losses that they had to conclude last season. They get a rivalry game win in front of a big crowd in Baltimore. Then they win last week in convincing fashion, and now they're getting things handed to them here in Morgantown.
And if you're trying to run out the clock, you stay down and stay in bounds.
But I'll say this, though, David. For Ralph Regent and his troops, as they get set to head to the locker room, this is not an insurmountable lead.
No,
by any
absolutely
stretch.
not. No, I mean, it's 21
West Virginia's
points.
had the opportunities to tack more on.
Yeah, and they've turned the ball over again in the plus 50. And they did that last week, and that's what Coach Stewart was frustrated about coming into this game.
3rd and 6. 46 left in the first half. Devine again. Stays inbounds this time. And Maryland will use another timeout to stop the clock at 39. Now setting up a return again. They have some dangerous return guys. Torrey Smith is great with the kickoff returns. Tony Logan, number 85, doing it via the punt as well. They got a chance with the good return. Get some decent field position to maybe try and tack on a field goal or maybe something more.
Yeah, Noel Devine afforded them that opportunity. I mean, they only had one timeout left, and on 2nd and 2, you run a play to the boundary, and he runs out of bounds. So, I mean, they have a chance now. I mean, you know what, last drive, the thing that was, puzzling, it was, near the 50, it's 2nd and 2, and Maryland chucks the football, 2 times in a row. Remember, the clock stops when you get a first down. You had plenty of time left, but they're going to get another shot.
Tony Logan back for Maryland. He's at his 43. Greg Pugnetti from his 1 set to punt for West Virginia. Went for the block. Pretty good punt. Logan backpedals to his 39. And then met at about the 43. 45-yard punt for Pugnetti. Geno Smith coming into this game with all kinds of momentum that he earned last Friday night at the big overtime win versus Marshall, and it just carried on here today with his feet, with his arm. 3 touchdown passes already for Smith, 226 yards, 14 completions on just 18 attempts. If you're Maryland, what do you do here, David? Take a knee? Go for it? New quarterback is in. And Danny O'Brien, he's got a good arm, and he just got drilled and coughed it up. Welcome to the game, Mr. O'Brien. Here's an ice bag.
Ouch. Bruce Irvin comes off the edge. A nice pass rush, and O'Brien's slow to get up.
Maryland has to be careful. Their 3rd-string QB, C.J. Brown, played 1 play this season and left with a broken collarbone. They're going to run out of time, and O'Brien needs to find a trainer. He got drilled. And an appropriate conclusion to this first half to show the dominance of West Virginia. O'Brien was a human pinata there. And Maryland, tail between their turtle shell, down 21-0 at the break. It's been all Mountaineers so far. West Virginia looking to go 3-0 on the campaign. They have been electric through the opening half. Now we send it to Dari and Chris Storing with the ESPNU halftime report. West Virginia has won the last 4 meetings versus Maryland, and they clearly won the first half of this one. The Mountaineers, the only ranked team in the Big East, on top of Maryland, 21-0. Rob Stone, David Pollack back here with you. And West Virginia, just an absolute dominating performance, and they really set the tone on that opening drive, going no huddle, quick, right down the field, with the feet, with the arms.
Yeah, they did both
sides.
It
was a watch-out Maryland drive.
I mean, Noel Devine started off with a nice little 50-yard run off the left side, and it was important to get him established. We talked about getting guys touches. This was number 1 on the priority list. And then Geno Smith, obviously doing a great job passing the ball. And Saunders wasn't far down the list either. I mean, they've got so many guys that they can give touches to, but it was the balance that I liked with Geno Smith, the ability to throw the ball through the air and also to be able to run the football. And then how about the defensive side? This was very impressive. I mean, Maryland had their woes, but West Virginia tackled extremely well, put some hits on the quarterback, and were opportunistic when they needed to be, causing fumbles, because Maryland on the other side, they did do some positive things. It wasn't all negative. They did a good job on the plus 50 when they were driving in a couple times by West Virginia. 4th down stop, causing fumbles. This game could have been twice. This game could have got out of hand quicker, but the defense has kept them in the game, especially on their side of the 50.
Now here's the triple threat. Noel Devine and the Divinals over here, right? The 791 guys.
There you go, the
Look
Divinals.
at this. Combined 284 yards for Devine, Sanders, And Austin, Geno Smith, remember, started this game 10 for 10, is now 14 and 18, 226 yards, 3 touchdowns. Maryland won the toss, deferred, so they will start on offense here in the second half. Torrey Smith watches this one sail over his head, and the Terps will begin at the 20. Jamar Robinson will come back on as quarterback for Maryland. Again, the first half ended with Danny O'Brien, his backup, getting drilled and time expiring. Robinson's numbers not all that impressive, and just 5 rushes for 2 yards. I mean, that's where he's the most lethal, is when he is running the ball, and we have not seen much of that from him today. Darrell Scott loses yards. Najee Good with the hit. Here's the Scott-Meggett combo. We talked about them at the outset. Here's what they've done through the first half. Not impressive numbers.
Yeah, that's what they haven't done. I mean, they haven't been able to establish the run at all. And you got to credit West Virginia's defense. They've done a good job, and it's a confusing defense. They only have 3 down linemen. They got, 5 DBs. They got backers all over the place. So they got to get used to it a little bit, I guess.
A lot of bodies in the box for West Virginia. And Scott lost his footing.
I can't say there's been anywhere to run, Rob.
True.
I mean, you got to create holes for the guys to, because Scott can make you miss, but you got to have holes to get up in, and there hasn't been any.
Has it been a case of West Virginia offensively is this bad, or West Virginia defensively is this good?
Well, I mean, West Virginia's showing us some good stuff. I mean, they're definitely tackling well, and they haven't had a lot of opportunities, but on 3rd down, this is where they've been their best. They've stopped them 5 out of 5 times.
Robinson. That one might have been tipped. Julian Miller. They're applying the pressure, and a quick 3 and out.
They were trying to set up the screen. And the important thing about the screen is you see the lineman releasing upfield, trying to give Darrell Scott some room to run, some space to operate. He was the main ball catcher in the first half. He had 3. Everybody else had 1 that caught a pass, but you see he threw it a little bit behind him. That's an easy throw. You've got to make those throws so you can get some first downs.
Jock Sanders, the senior, at his 40. Backpedals. Still backpedaling to his 26. Cuts to his right. Still alive. Across the 40. Big block. Across the 50. He's got a hole. Still on his feet. And dragged down at the 10. Ian Smith running back to save a touchdown for Maryland.
I know you see Jock Sanders, but that was some nice blocking too. I mean, you got to give him credit, but a booming of a punt, and a lot of times you kick it too far, you don't get your guys down there. Making the first 2 guys miss, great job. And you see some blocks coming into your screen and just knocking boys out. Look at the little caravan out in front. Man, I mean, that's exactly what Maryland didn't want. I mean, you go 3 and out to start the second half. Now you give up a big punt return. And this offense doesn't need it. They've done well enough as it is.
66-yard punt return. 1st and goal from the 8. Devine stutters stepping. Stays in bounds.
Stick with the run. Stick with Devine. Geno's throwing the ball well enough through the air. Devine says, give me some touches, please. When Noel Devine goes over 100 yards, it's a very, very good thing for West Virginia. They're 14 and 3, and he's getting close to that mark now. So it's a good number on your side.
Yeah, he's been over 100 in both of his games this season. Ryan Clark, the fullback, in now to spell Devine. Here is Clark, the big man. Oof. Big hit.
And Wojak's been impressive. I mean, he's been the one guy that's making plays. You saw him create the fumble, and he's a true middle linebacker is how they described him, a throwback. Watch him lay the lumber. Yes, sir.
Wojak on the watch list for the Chuck Bednarik Award, given to the top defensive player in college football.
Tackling machine.
Throwback player. He's an 09 freshman All-American. Look at the time for Smith. Touchdown. Stedman Bailey with his second of the afternoon.
Great job by Geno Smith. Buying time, staying patient. Starts to his left. They got 4 receivers up top. Starts to his left. That's where he wants to go with the football. Does a good job running back to the right. And I guess when you play high school ball with somebody, you get more touches thrown your way, because Stedman Bailey, he's been a target that he's liked so far.
Review.
So the guys downstairs in the man cave, we're going to take another look at this.
Great job buying time. He's all by himself. Throws a little bit low.
It's going to be tough to overturn that one. And we saw Smith having great success last Friday night on the road at Marshall, rolling to his right.
Yeah.
Buying himself great time, and the coaching staff telling us yesterday, David, he's got a nice little ability to get those feet back underneath him when he's moving and rolling.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks, the fundamentals, and especially younger guys, you know, getting your feet set and making the throws. A lot of times they start to drift, or, you know, and that affects your mechanics. That affects the ball drifting in the air and throwing it to the other team. So coaches bragged on him. They didn't want to give him too much love. They said they'd like to show him the bad plays. Jeff Mullen said, the offensive coordinator for West Virginia, we don't want to show him all the good stuff. We want to show him the stuff we want him to improve on. But this sure looks to be another touchdown and a rough start for the second half for Maryland.
He also said, talking about Geno, is the same kid good or bad?
Yeah.
After further review,
The play stands as call on the field. Touchdown.
4th touchdown toss of the afternoon for the sophomore Smith. And that's an ice bag working the wrist and forearm of Geno Smith. Four for 4 on the PA attempts. It's now 28-0. 159 all-purpose yards for Jock Sanders. He started it off with an electric 66-yard punt return all the way down to the 8. Stedman Bailey with the 5-yard grab. 28-0. West Virginia. 4 touchdowns. West Virginia is doing it quickly, David. All 4 touchdown drives have taken less than 3 minutes.
Yeah, and look at the start of this play up top right here. You see 3 wide receivers, so they're already overloading to the field. And then watch, go ahead and play it. You see Noel Devine go in motion. So now you got 4 guys up top. So obviously that's where Geno's looking. So he's got great matchups. Look at, nobody's open. He does a great job. First of all, great protection by the offensive line. Buys times, comes back down to the bottom end of the field. And a lot of times when you do play zone like Maryland just did, you read the quarterback and you start going with him. So when he started to move to his left, everybody went with him. And a nice job staying patient. And we've talked about poise all night with this guy. He's very, very poised for a young quarterback.
Torrey Smith back. He has returned a school record 3 kickoffs for touchdowns. From his goal line, across the 20. And just shy of the 30. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues a little bit later today. BYU in Tallahassee to take on Florida State. We're going to be talking good ponder, bad ponder in that broadcast. We saw good ponder in week number 1 versus Samford. You also saw bad ponder last week on the road in Norman versus the Sooners. Meggett across the 30. Breaks a tackle to the 40, tiptoeing, and he stepped out of bounds earlier. See where they mark him out of bounds. Good enough for a first down.
And we've talked about Meggett, and we've talked about he's the backup, but he's a #1 back. And I think it's important to stay patient. You know, I know you're down 28, but the passing game's not working. I mean, you got to do something. And the running game, staying a little patient here is not bad.
Last week, Meggett 50 yards on the ground in their impressive win over Morgan State. More from Meggett. Meggett, the son of the former NFL great Dave Meggett, but he was raised by his mom and his stepdad. Done a wonderful job with this young man, the junior from Clinton, Maryland. And Meggett, bit of a bowling enthusiast. He's got some trick shots.
Did you break him down yet?
I have not had a time to look at his bowling tape yet.
What?
We'll
Can
do
you
that.
pick up the 7-10
We'll do that next.
split,
We'll do
or
that
what?
next week when we're at College Park.
Disappointed,
Yeah, we have Maryland at FIU next Saturday at noon. 2nd and 10 from the 38. Right into a massive humanity. Anthony Leonard, the middle linebacker, there first on the scene.
And the good thing about it, Darrell Scott is the feature back. He's been the main guy the past couple years. But David Meggett has done a great job this past offseason, retooling his body, getting in better shape. Coaches talked about it. James Franklin, offensive coordinator, said he got in better shape. He can run more. He's more electric. So we want to give him more touches, and he's earned it. He's worked for it.
And that was Scott on the bench. 3rd and 8 from the 40. Maryland has been abysmal on 3rd downs today.
Over.
Robinson going deep. Has his man. Caught. Touchdown. Torrey Smith. 60-yard grab. And finally some momentum for Maryland.
The quick strike, that's what they needed. They needed a big play. They've been terrible on 3rd downs. And look at Torrey getting absolutely excited on the sidelines. But great job diagnosing. He's got a one-on-one. This is your explosive playmaker. Now you see right there in the backfield, just a little peek. And as soon as he looked back to the quarterback, it was a touchdown from that point on. But Pat Miller just looks back at the quarterback for a split second, and that was enough for Torrey to create some space. Maryland needed that, boy. They needed a shot in the arm.
They probably could have used it in the 1st or 2nd quarter, but they'll take it at any point right now. Torrey Smith, an acrobatic grab and the touchdown run. Conference play that way. They have the lead in Chapel Hill right now. Maryland, their first 8 drives, not so good. Last drive, much improved. 4 plays, 73 yards in under 2 minutes, capped off by that 60-yard grab by Torrey Smith.
And Torrey Smith is the go-to guy. You know, they talked about him. You've seen him in the kick return game as well. But interesting fact, too, that Brandon Hogan, he's an all Big East guy, you know, cornerback position. He's actually out. He's suspended. Pat Miller, number 6, is his replacement, who just got beat on that touchdown.
Short kickoff, fielded by Austin at about the 15, cuts to his right, and loses his footing at the 25. Later tonight, presented by 5 Hour Energy on the U, Mississippi State taking on number 15 LSU. LSU hosts this West Virginia team next Saturday night. And after that one at 10:30, UNLV takes on the Idaho Vandals. College football primetime, presented by 5 Hour Energy on ESPNU and ESPNU HD on Saturday. So both teams scoring on their opening drives of the first half. West Virginia 1st and 10 from their 24. Devine takes the little hitch pass. Incomplete.
I'll be real curious to see how West Virginia counters now. You know, I mean, everything's been going really smooth. You've been doing the no huddle. You've had them back on their heels. Do you want to milk some clock? Do you want to shorten the game because you're up 21 points? So Jeff Mullen, the offensive coordinator, how does he want to call this? Does he want to call it close to the vest, run the football more, or still take some shots and stay in the hurry-up?
Split backs with Smith. Maryland showing like they want to bring some pressure. Austin to give. Austin had a fumble earlier today, holds on to that one, tackled by Adrian Moten. And we send it to the studio. Dari with an update. UMass at number 20, Michigan.
Yeah, guys. Chris Doring with me here. Michigan was down 17-7 to UMass. Things have changed quickly. Michael Shaw, 34 yards. It's all Wolverine.
Yeah, watch out for those floodgates here. Michigan about to score again on them.
Yeah, 28-17. They're driving again.
incomplete here in Morgantown. Are we contractually allowed to show a cut-in that doesn't feature Denard Robinson if it's Michigan? Can we get our lawyers on that?
You talk about a guy that's been explosive. You know, and Rich Rod, who comes from West Virginia, has done a great job. I think he's finally found his guy. And, I mean, you talk about Heisman Trophy front runner. If they can continue to win, he'll have a pretty good shot for it.
West Virginia out to punt.
What? They're punting?
Tony Logan back for Maryland. He's at his 33. Greg Pugnetti from his 11. Good pressure by Maryland. Gets that one off in time. Fielded at the 35 by Logan. Maybe 2 yards on the return. Want to remind you, Tuesdays here on ESPNU at 1 and 7 p.m. Eastern. You can watch The Experts, 6 experts, unfiltered conversation you don't want to miss. David, you are a part of that program. What do you think some of the topics are going to be this week? And I know it's early in the Saturday slate of football, but what's brewing on your mind that people are going to be yapping about this week?
It's going to be Ryan Mallett. We're going to talk about that Georgia matchup, and Iowa-Arizona should be a good one out west, too.
High formation for Maryland. Not getting much on the ground is David Meggett or the entire Terps today. Chris Neald on the stop. Neald looks the nose guard part, as the coaches like to say, yeah. Ability to put on weight at any moment if needed.
Yeah, go home, see mom.
Right. See mom.
10 pounds.
See food. 2nd and 10 from the 37. West Virginia on top by 21. A little hitch pass. Good for a couple, courtesy of Adrian Cannon. Cannon, the senior from Pontiac, Michigan. Broderick Jenkins on the stop. Jenkins filling in for the suspended Brandon Hogan. Hogan, a big loss. We don't know how much longer he's going to be out for West Virginia. Coach said the seniors will decide. Hogan, an All-Big East first-team performer last season, spent much of the week cleaning the bleachers with a wet rag here today at Mountaineer Field. Third and 5. West Virginia backs off the pressure, but still gets the sack. Loss of 6. Third sack of the afternoon and the 3rd of the season. Julian Miller, the man there, and a man down for Maryland. Looks like Justin Gilbert, their left tackle.
And this is one of the problems with the 3-3-5. There's so many guys that can come from so many angles. It looks like a blitz, but it's not. I mean, they only rushed 4 guys, but you can do that because you can change up the looks and keep them off balance. But West Virginia defense, they've been swarming to the football. They've been making tackles. They're very, very fast along the front and done a good job.
Gilbert still down. And we'll take a break. And we welcome you back to Morgantown. Jock Sanders back to return this punt. The last time he touched it, he returned it 66 yards to the 8-yard line, and it led to the 4th touchdown of the game for West Virginia. Here's Sanders, pushed to his right, and he'll let that one bounce and eventually takes a slight Maryland roll inside the 20. West Virginia, we talked about that triple threat they have of Devine, Sanders, Austin. You may even want to add Stedman Bailey to the mix now that Bailey has 2 touchdown grabs, but just so much speed on the field that it's borderline, I'm not going to say impossible, it is extremely challenging to slow these guys down when they spread you out and they get you in open field.
They take a Maryland team that likes to play in a phone booth and make them play in space. And it's really, really tough because they can do it. You know, they can put one outside on one side, one on the other side, and one in the backfield, and it really stretches you. You're going to find a weakness on the defense.
1st and 10 from the 18. Devine to about the 21. And a late flag comes in. Coming back, a holding on West Virginia.
Holding, 81 on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul, first down.
Sophomore J.D. Woods right there.
Little grab. Little push.
And a push.
Push is okay. The grab's not. You know, Bill Stewart, you saw him kind of agonizing on the sideline. You don't want him to don't get complacent with your lead. You know, you want to make sure that you're still firing on all cylinders and you're finishing a ball game. That's it. It's going to be important.
Devine goes to the left of Smith. 2 wide outs to the left and right of Geno Smith, the sophomore QB. They give it to Devine across the 10, across the 15, 20, and then has his legs cut out from him after a pickup of 13. Flag on the play. Antoine Perez there to take out Devine's legs. And a player down as well for Maryland. And that is
Holding
Alex Wojak.
On the offense, number 74, 5 yards from the previous spot.
Back-to-back penalties on West Virginia. Wojak is up, getting ready to get off the field, but first we send it back to the studio. An update from Dari.
All right, guys, more bad news for Boise State, who's not even playing, but Virginia Tech is against ECU. Dominique Davis to Dwayne Harris, touchdown. Hokies trail at home by 10. A loss, and they're 0-3. Youch.
Now, my goodness, Dari, who would think that the 2-0 team in that matchup would be East Carolina? The fullback Ryan Clark in on 1st and 23 from the Mountaineer 5. Demetrius Hartsfield there on the tackle, had a career-high 12 tackles versus Navy and an interception touchdown. That was last week in the win over Morgan State, the interception touchdown.
Bringing in some speed, guys. Spreading it out, a little more up-tempo again.
2nd and 19. Smith to Devine. Finds a hole. Breaks a tackle. Tiptoes. Late flag comes in as well. Man, he is always, it just seems like inches away from going to the house.
Yeah, you saw it last week against Maryland. Had so many chances.
Against Marshall.
One guy got him a bunch of times, but right now they got a copyright on holding because that's pretty much all they're doing right now. And it stinks because it's
Holding
positive plays.
On the offense, number 81. Half the distance to the goal.
That's J.D. Woods again, the 2nd time on this drive. 3 penalties for 23 yards on this drive alone, and we're using the term drive very loosely. Will not please head coach Bill Stewart at all. So it brings up 2nd and 19 from the 9. Three to the right of Smith. Devine in the backfield with him. It is Devine. Across the 15 to the 17. And West Virginia goes no huddle. They've had a lot of success going no huddle today. Play clock down to 11. Smith working that play clock. Takes the snap with 4 left. Devine across the 20, across the 25. Pushed beyond the 30. First down, West Virginia.
And the sneaky power that we talked about with Devine at the end of the run, but they've been running the outside a lot, taking up the middle. Great job bouncing off some blockers.
Devine over 100 yards. He has 126. Now we go to the air. Look at the time across the middle. Big hit at the 45, complete to Stedman Bailey. Kenny Tate, the junior from Forestville, Maryland, came in as a highly touted wide receiver, has now been moved to safety. And he had the hit there. 1st and 10 from the 46. Bailey having a wonderful afternoon. Ditto for his high school teammate Geno Smith. Devine bottled up. So Noel Devine with his 18th career 100-yard rushing game. He's twice gone over 1,000 yards in the season. That's just on the ground, and we mentioned last week he had a career-high 10 receptions for 62 yards. Showing those NFL guys he can do more than just run and dance. 3 to the right of Smith. Smith looks left. Hit as he released, lobbed that one in and could have been picked. Devine, Sanders, Austin, their numbers pretty good. All of them over 100 total yards. Austin with 2 touchdowns, both of those coming in the first quarter.
I mean, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I'm going, okay, I got to take away one, but I sure as heck can't let all 3 get off.
Well, we didn't even show Geno Smith on there as well. The quarterback who started 10 for 10. Smith is now 16 for 23 for 244 and 4 touchdowns. Looking for more as Smith. Complete to his receiver. Incomplete. Out of bounds was Austin.
Geno shows you he's got a big arm, though. He really can sling it. And this to the outside of the field, the little comebacks is a tough route. Right foot comes down first. Definitely out of bounds, but the fans aren't happy. But it was out of bounds. It was a nice pass by Geno. Only where his receiver can get it.
They're going to review this one again to confirm they have the right call on the field. We go back to our Geno Smith conversation, and you brought up an interesting point as we were watching the film yesterday with his passes, and you almost saw a little bit of it on this one. I think the officials called this one correctly. Is the fact that he's got a great arm, but he almost has a sinker ball effect to his throw. He knows I need to get over the linebackers and then watch that ball just kind of drop into his. Yeah,
he does a great job with that. A lot of quarterbacks don't have that ability. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because the way you throw it, sometimes you throw that ball and it rises a lot, but he'll throw it 30 yards on a rope as it goes down, and it won't get 6 feet off the ground. I mean, it's at top of his head, that distance, and then just sinks in there. But, you know, he's shown enough touch. You know, he's shown that he can really sling it when he needs to, but he's also shown that he can fit it in tight windows. And that's why you open the playbook up. And I think you'll start to trust him more and more. And with Noel Devine at the running back position and this offense is going to be scary. LSU is not going to be happy when they start watching this tape and saying, who the heck am I supposed to stop first?
But who would you stop first?
Well, it starts with the running back. You know, I think it was.
So you got to take out Devine
talked
first?
About when we talked with Coach yesterday, Coach Jeff Mullen, the offensive coordinator. He said, I'm going to get 7 as touches. We might spread it out a little bit, but 7's going to touch the ball.
After further review, the play stands as called on the field. Incomplete pass.
So West Virginia will punt. Pugnetti, the senior from Fairfax, Virginia, comes out. Tony Logan back at his 15. Logan, a career best 128 punt return yards last week. Averages 37 per punt, #1 in the nation coming in. There'll be no return on this one as it bounces into the end zone. Log on to facebook.com/ESPNU today. Become a fan, and here's our Facebook question. Will the ACC or Big East win more games this weekend? ACC having some issues here. ACC having some issues in Blacksburg as Virginia Tech trailing East Carolina.
I don't think anybody predicted 3-0 for Virginia Tech in that possibility.
Yeah, there's Big East 0-5 versus automatic qualifying teams. This is a big drive for Maryland. They can pull within 2 touchdowns if they can get 7 here. Robinson going deep again and connects again with Smith. And Smith will find 6. 80-yard touchdown completion to go on top of the 60-yard TD strike those two had not too long ago.
All right, Jamar Robinson. Throw the ball to Torrey Smith, number 82. He was a little bit banged up. We saw on the kick return to start the second half, but man, oh man, he's getting separation from the defenders for sure. Maryland's not going quietly, Rob.
No, they're not. And I applaud them for that, and I'm sure Ralph Friedgen will bring that up as well. And they are far from out of this game. Far from it. Two-touchdown game. Torrey Smith now 149 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. The bulk of those numbers coming here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and a great job, you know, making a little option look, a little play action, getting him to bite up a little bit, but perfect throw. He throws it before he actually breaks. And once again, Pat Miller filling in for Brandon Hogan gets beat in the secondary. It was a great throw. You stick your foot in the ground. He threw it before he broke on the post route. And Hogan just can't, or he can't catch him. Pat Miller's going, I can't catch this guy. He's too fast. Give me some help.
In Brandon Hogan, the starting cornerback, suspended indefinitely after a drunken driving arrest. That his second police run-in 5 months. He was arrested early Sunday morning after he was spotted driving the wrong way on a one-way street. 25 career starts for Hogan, 4th on the team with 11 tackles. Coach Stu said, I don't know how long the suspension will last. It's up to the seniors.
And that's pretty cool. Most coaches don't do that. You know, most coaches are going to make their decision and not really talk with the players. But Coach Stewart said he's going to, and he also said he's going to get rid of this. He said he's cleaning the bleachers, and you know, he's making them pay for what he did.
Yeah, he gave him a wet rag this week. He said, go clean the bleachers.
Yep.
Terps within 14. Short kickoff. Fielded by Austin. Return of 11 yards. West Virginia at one point was down 21-0 in the third quarter. Make that 28-0 in the third quarter. But have stormed back with 2 big pass receptions to Torrey Smith, and Ralph Friedgen and the Terps are still alive. They need their defense to show up here and slow some bodies down. Picked off, and then dropped, and then recovered. Let's see what the call is. Ruled incomplete.
I tell you what, the offense was a machine the first half, and West Virginia offense is starting to struggle a little bit. Be interested to see what they call, but he didn't have possession very long.
Now, Ralph Friedgen is going to call a timeout, and they're going to challenge this.
Yeah.
That's a good use of that rule for Maryland.
And let's take a look at this, because first of all, it's a great play. I mean, they've gotten really, really conservative with the play calls. If you think about it, they want to throw quick passes, and they're showing you that. And a great job.
Maryland is reviewing the call on the play as to whether it was a forward or backward pass.
Okay.
Right in the slot.
Yeah, Adrian Moten is the one who had it and then lost it. Will Johnson, the tight end, stripped it from him. There's Moten having it momentarily, and then the loose ball. So it's a pass behind the line of scrimmage. That's a fumble.
All right, freeze it right here. You can see Moten does a great job from the jump right here. He knows what it is. He knows it's a screen. He's reading this guy blocking. Does a great job coming up Usually you play past first and you back up some, but he saw that it was a screen. It looked like he caught it, but once again, the ruling on the field being an incompletion, but that was a great play.
Ruling on the field, incomplete pass. This is a huge decision for both programs here. What the replay booth comes up with here is going to have a major impact on this game. So they snap it right at about the 26.
Where he throws it,
and that's
is all that matters, and it's not even close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the only thing you really could review. And now listen, he's reviewing whether they threw it behind the line of scrimmage, and that's what he said.
Right.
So are they going to rule the interception? No, but he definitely threw it in front of the line of scrimmage.
Right. And Trenton Hughes was there to scoop it up for Maryland.
But
now here comes the decision.
After further review, the play stance is called on the field. It was a forward pass. There was no possession. It's incomplete, and we have a timeout, Maryland.
So it would have been a huge play. That would have been, that would have been
if that was
huge.
a backwards pass, which I think is what Coach was rolling the dice on.
Yeah, but it's important that this offense stays aggressive. I mean, you've done a great job. The weakness for Maryland has been their secondary. That's the question mark, and you've been attacking them. And now when you get up 28 points, your natural tendency is to, pull it back together, keep it close. But they've got to stay aggressive. West Virginia does on offense.
Mountaineers up 14. We send it to Dari for a studio update. Dari?
All right, guys, thank you much. Arkansas, Georgia, Razorbacks up a touchdown. You can make it two when Ryan Mallett finds Ronnie Wingo Jr. Mallett 300 yards through the air as the Razorbacks lead 24-10. How about Virginia Tech and East Carolina? It's slow motion because that's kind of how Virginia Tech's been playing. It's all been slow. Tyrod Taylor touchdown, but they still lead at home in their quest to avoid the trailer. Trying to avoid 0-3, guys.
My goodness. The work Frank Beamer has in front of him. So it's now 2nd and 10 from the 26 for West Virginia, who just dodged a pretty big bullet there. Devine tries to turn the corner and gets bumped out of bounds. Darren Drakeford and Cameron Chisholm there for Maryland. Devine with a pickup of 6 brings up 3rd and 4. Pressure in the face. Ball may have been tipped. And the Maryland D holds strong.
Maryland D couldn't get a stop in the first half. They couldn't buy a stop except for the turnovers.
What have they done differently here in the second, David?
Well, right there, it's a good job rushing the passer and getting your hands up. I mean, you still had open receivers, and he was going to hit it. He was going to get a first down, but he got his hands up. But Maryland being more aggressive, and that's important. I mean, you've got nothing to lose when you're down 28-0, and then West Virginia doing a job of getting a little bit more conservative as well.
It came after that punt hard. Putnetti fortunate to get that one off. A short kick, and watch the official still walking up, out of bounds at about the 49. And here comes Jamar Robinson. Was woeful in the first half, just 61 yards, but 2 big touchdown pass plays to Torrey Smith. 1 for 60, and then on their last drive, a 1-play, 80-yard drive. That took all of 11 seconds. And the Terps at one point down 28-0, now within 14. Scott pushes forward. And a good second and short opportunity now for the Terps.
And Maryland's still sticking with the run, which is good. I mean, this is smart because they're not going to honor the play action, which you've had your 2 big gains on, unless you stick with the run. And now you're in a situation only being down 14, and you got great field position. So Maryland can continue to pound away if they want to.
Under 3 to go in the third. Trips to the right of Robinson. Low ball intended for Scott, no chance. Things have been active in Blacksburg. Dari, what's the latest?
Well, guys, Virginia Tech was down 17-7, but back the Hokies have come. Darren Evans finishing a drive in which Ryan Williams left the game after taking a helmet to the knee. We'll keep you posted, but the Hokies lead.
Virginia Tech trying to avoid their first 0-3 start since 1987. 3rd and 3 here for Maryland inside West Virginia territory at the 42.
Timeout, West Virginia. It's a 30-second timeout.
For the most detailed analysis of the latest rankings, watch BCS Countdown, brought to you by Allstate this Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPNU. Is that another show you're a part of?
Yeah.
Is there a show that is produced by ESPNU right now that deals with college football that you are not a part of?
I have no part in bowling, actually.
Any like digital media work you're doing for them now?
No bowling, no soccer.
We're talking American sports right there, my friends.
I didn't know. I guess
be careful where you tread.
I guess my partner's got that one covered, though. So.
Now, this is a big moment here in this game, and give Maryland a lot of credit. They could have been run out of this building in the first half. They were lucky to get to the locker room down 21-0. Lucky.
Yeah. And now they're starting to get the offense together, starting to take some shots deep.
Taking shots and getting their confidence. Just 1 of 8, though, on 3rd down are the Terps. This 3rd and 3. Meggett in the backfield. Meggett breaks to the right. Quick slant and intended for Quentin McCree.
Bad pass.
You go for it here?
Oh, yeah, I think you got to. There's no doubt about that. I mean, your punt, you don't gain that much field position, but.
Let me ask you then, if you knew ahead of time you were going to go for it on 3rd and 3, if you're going to go for it on 4th, why not run it?
Well, your quarterback makes the completion there, you got a first down.
I understand. There's 2 sides to every story.
It was a bad throw. I mean, your running game hasn't been that great. You've been keeping them off balance with it, but it hasn't been stellar.
This is the first 4th down attempt of the game for Maryland on the season. They are 1 for 1. Robinson flush to his right, under all kinds of pressure. Down goes Robinson. Scooter Berry showing no signs of that offseason shoulder surgery, which forced him to miss spring ball. Huge play for the Mountaineer D.
Now, I said you definitely go for it, but now you're back with that sack way on the other side of the field. But Jamar, you know what? He does a good job because the protection's bad, but there's nobody to throw to either. They were covered, but you just got to remember on 4th down, you can throw it up for grabs. It doesn't matter. Throw it up. If you throw an interception, you throw an interception, you live with it. But you run 10 yards, 20 yards backwards. It's a bigger pain now for your defense.
A loss of 20. That's the 4th sack for the game and for the season for the West Virginia defense. 1st and 10 now from the 39 for West Virginia. Let's see what they do. They go to the air and going for it all. This might be pass interference. Trenton Hughes pleads his case. Intended for Tavon Austin. The Maryland coaching staff is hot.
Remember, you're not.
Defensive pass interference on the defense. 39, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
I mean, you can't put your hands on them, but the ball was pretty severe. It was pretty overthrown. But there was a lot of contact, some good acting by Austin as well, but probably better acting than pass interference.
You think that one was catchable?
No, it wasn't catchable.
I mean, Austin's fast.
Not that fast.
Not that fast. Maryland penalties, 9 for 50. Make it 9 for 62 yards. Trips to the right. Devine in the backfield. Smith from the shotgun. Whoa, little trickery and an interception and a lot of green. That's Kenny Tate across the 40, across midfield. Cuts to his left, still on his feet. And then dives down at the 40. Kenny Tate, the former wide receiver, knew what to do when that ball was in the air.
It's one thing to be tricky and have trick plays you want to run in a ball game, but it's another thing to put the ball in a receiver's hand and ask him to be a quarterback. And that, you can't make big-time mistakes. But watch Gino. He throws a lateral to Jock Sanders. Quarterbacks know not to turn a bad play into a catastrophe. And Jock Sanders doesn't. He just throws it up for grabs. Interesting play call. Maryland takes advantage of it.
Sanders had paws on him before he even caught that one, essentially.
No, that's true. Yeah.
And then to throw it. 1st and 10 from the 40. Fake the give to Megan. A little play action. Robinson avoids this rush and slings a hot one that's out of bounds. Intended for Laquan Williams.
West Virginia doing a better job now of recognizing play action. And they've been burned by it twice. Torrey Smith slipped behind the coverage twice. Doing a good job now, staying a little bit deeper. Don't give up the big plays.
Robinson over 200 yards in the air.
Does that mean Torrey Smith is too then? Receiving?
He's approaching it. Smith with 149 through the air. The give to Meggett. Maryland really yet to snap off that impressive pickup on the ground.
No, but that was positive. I mean, that was an 8-yard gain. Meggett kind of outruns his lineman, but does a good job of breaking some tackles and staying tough. And once again, 3rd and 2. When you got a quarterback like you got with Jamar Robinson and his ability to run the football, it leaves you a lot of choices.
You got 2 downs to get these 3 yards, right?
Yes. So that means you want him to run, right?
I'm just saying. Little option keeper by Robinson. Should be enough for 1st down.
Did they learn that playing against Navy? Running the little triple option?
See where they mark this one. First down for Ralph Regent and the Terps. Right at about the 30-yard line. Just 16 seniors on this team for Ralph Regent. Said my team last year was young. We're still young, but we got that extra year of experience now. They're off to a 2-0 start and trying to dig themselves out of a 28-0 hole. 1st and 10 from the 30. Robinson under center. Going for it all. And dropped in the end zone by Smith. Would have been his 3rd. And that probably would have been his easiest touchdown grab of the day.
Yeah, great protection. West Virginia staying a little conservative, just rushing 3 guys, dropping back. But Torrey Smith's got to catch that ball. Again, Torrey Smith getting behind Pat Miller again. But you see the 3-man rush. He throws it up. Let your big guy go get it. He's 6'1". Man, he wants that one back.
Yeah, maybe he heard the footsteps of number 2, Robert Sands, the big 6'5", 221 junior coming at him. But that should have been 6. Another sack, 5th of the day for the Mountaineer D. They came in with 0. They're going to leave with at least 5 as the clock ticks down here on the 3rd quarter.
Talking about no sacks on the year, huh? All of a sudden, there's 5.
Comes in spurtatious, those sacks.
Jeff Castile told us yesterday. He said, don't worry about it. We just want to put pressure, make big plays. And that's big. I thought they were doing too much catching. You know, too much. You know, you're reacting as opposed to making them react to you. Good job dialing up a blitz.
stopping the action, and the refs fired it up, and that's going to give Maryland no time to get this play off. And Maryland was in position to get a play off. They looked like they would have enough time to get that play off before the quarter expired, but instead they'll flip sides and get ready for the fourth. Stedman Bailey with 2 touchdown grabs. Ditto for Torrey Smith and the Terps. 14-point game in this ACC Big East showdown. As Maryland has clawed their way back into this one with a 14-point third-quarter outing.
And Jamar Robinson decided to start throwing the ball deep, and so did this offense. And Torrey Smith became the favorite target, and just throwing bombs and making big plays. And they needed some kind of spark to get them going. It's been really dink and dunk, and they opened up the playbook and took some shots. And then defensively, making plays. They did a good job in the first half, getting 2 turnovers to keep them in it. And then you see the interception, which the coach probably wants back, but Kenny Tate making a nice play. But that's the guy right there, Torrey Smith. Look at that, 50 yards a catch, Rob.
4 touchdowns this season. He's just recorded his 4th career 100-yard receiving game. 3rd and 19 from the 39. Robinson from the shotgun, steps in, slings it, complete on the sideline to Quentin McCree. Short of the first down, bring up 4th. Second time today the Terps will have gone for it on 4th down. They are 0 for 1 on 4th so far. From the 27, 4th and 7. Need to get to about the 20. Robinson in the shotgun. Meggett to his left. He's going to run it, and he's going to get there, and more. Out at the 15. Pickup of 12.
And just a great job by Jamar Robinson. He does a good job of evading the rush. And you see Julian Miller comes around the edge at the end right here from the other side, has a chance to grab him. But it's so tough when you start passing the ball effectively. It's so tough to stop him because now you're on the pass and he can still run with his feet.
Again, just the 5th career start for Robinson. And here's an interesting formation. That doesn't do a whole lot offensively. It's positive, but not by much. J.T. Thomas there with the hit. Thomas, the 09 All-Big East first-team performer.
How about this for Maryland? It's the first trip in the red zone.
They've been in the black zone plenty.
They've been in the black zone, no doubt. They've been coming out, but running a little triple option again. Navy didn't work well against them in the red zone. They want to stay away from me.
James Franklin, the offensive coordinator, we just saw him trying to put together a drive here. 2nd and 10 from the 15. They go to the ground, and it's Meggett cutting inside after the outside lane closed down. Pickup of 3. Meggett, 20 yards shy of 1,000 for his career. 3rd and 7. Sacked. Number 6 on the day, Bruce Irvin, the junior from Atlanta, with the sack.
Hey, great job by Bruce Irvin. You see the blitz coming from the slot, but again, beating the tackle on an inside move. That's twice he's had a really nice pass rush.
Do you go for field goal here, which is what Maryland's going to do? They're going to attempt a 35-yard field goal.
A quick field goal.
And it's good, so more points for Maryland. Travis Baltz with the 35-yard field goal, his first of the game.
Defense is playing really well, Rob, so maybe you do kick it and have confidence.
We're within 11, under 12 to go for Morgantown.
The Hokies by 3, guys.
So Virginia Tech still in jeopardy of falling to 0-3. Maryland trying to get themselves in position to extend their opening season winning streak to 3 games. 11 plays, 22 yards, and 5:09 led to that field goal. There's Austin at about his 1. Dragged down shy of the 20. ESPNU's coverage of college football continues later tonight at 7 Eastern. A fun SEC showdown. Mississippi State taking on number 15 LSU. That one presented by 5 Hour Energy. And then at 10:30, UNLV, Idaho. See those games on ESPNU and ESPNU HD. The LSU defense leads the nation. Their passing offense does not. Ranked 107th. Again, LSU hosting this West Virginia team next Saturday night on ESPN2. First and 10 from the 18. Devine, maybe 1. Glad you're with us on just a gorgeous afternoon for college football. And well, now they're talking maybe a loose ball here. Mountain State in all its glory today as West Virginia jumped out to a 28-0 lead in the 3rd quarter. Maryland has rallied back with 2 big touchdown plays. Rob Stone, David Pollack here with you. Glad you're spending part of your Saturday with us. Late flag comes in. Helmet comes off.
It's easy to call a face mask when you get your helmet ripped off. Not much doubt there.
Oof.
Ouch.
That came off awfully easy, by the way.
It's a grown man ripping it off.
Personal foul, face mask. Number 69 on the defense. 15 yards from the end of the run. Automatic first down.
Zachariah Kerr, the sophomore, with the face mask. Look at these total penalty yards. Or actually, these are total yards by half, but the penalty yards for Maryland have been up there as well. Big turnaround in the second half for Maryland. Good job in the locker room by their staff. Corner blitz, picked up, Smith, tall ball, caught by Sanders. Chisholm with the hit.
And the thing is, the punt return was the big play of the second half. Besides that, but you see Jock Sanders here. Nice little stick. He's all right, though. But the punt return, that was pretty much the whole offense so far. I mean, set up the score in the second half, but they got to get some kind of rhythm. They just look at us sync. Gino looks at us sync.
Clock approaching 10 minutes left in this one. Both schools trying to go 3-0. Devine is going nowhere on that run.
And we talked about Devine's patience a little bit, and that's one time where he could have used a little bit. You always want to bounce it outside, especially when you're as fast as he is, but he had a little crease, and instead of 2nd and 8, you get 2 yards and you make it 3rd and 6. You go a little bit backwards or lateral, and now it's a 3rd and 8 situation where first half you were on fire for West Virginia. Second half you've been slow a little bit.
8 of 15 on 3rd down are the Mountaineers. They've had so much success getting their guys the ball in the open field, and Austin had 2 touchdowns in the first quarter with a big grab there.
Hey, that's big. They needed a first down. They needed some kind of mojo going their way. But man-to-man coverage or blitz by Maryland, you see him coming across the middle. It's hard to run with.
That's Dexter McDougal just chasing him. Again, there's Smith taking what the defense gives him. Completes to his fullback, Ryan Clark. Last 5 drives for West Virginia. Not overly impressive.
No, it's not what you look for.
A complete opposite from what we saw offensively in the first half from the Mountaineers. 2nd and 3 from the 39. West Virginia up 11, under 9 to go. Kenny Tate, who had an interception earlier with the hit there. Tate was named the National Defensive Player of the Week post Navy. Adrian Moten down on the field. Could be some cramping there as they bring some fluids to him right away.
Helps when you're not on the field a lot in the second half. You know, the defense the first half seemed like they were out there the whole time. But he's made some nice plays. He was the one who almost had the interception on the quick screen by West Virginia.
Moten hops back and
grabbing a hamstring.
Left hammy. I know that reach. There's Geno Smith, ready for 3rd and 1. Smith started the game 10 for 10. Had 2 touchdown passes in the first quarter to Tavon Austin, and then found his high school teammate Stedman Bailey twice in the end zone. It was 28-0 early in the 3rd quarter for West Virginia. And they took the foot off the accelerator a little bit. And they took the foot off the gas in the 2nd quarter as well. Could have been up by a lot more. West Virginia has fought their way back into this one to make it a game. There's Devine in the 1st and the 2nd half. Big 3rd and 1 here for West Virginia. To give to the fullback, and he'll have it. Clark gets the 1st down. Dari gets some TV time with the cut-in.
Well, you know, we love that, guys. Georgia once down 14 at home to Arkansas. Now it's 7, and Washaun Ely going to make it all tied at 24. They just forced an Arkansas punt, so a couple of minutes to go. Bulldogs with the ball at home. We'll keep you posted.
Just a bit of a smile on David Pollack here in the booth after that cut-in, Dari. Thanks for making his day. Bulldogs trying to avoid going 0-2 in the SEC to start the season. Again, the fullback give. Clark rumbling. Keep on fighting, big man. Tough to bring you down when you're 6'0", 247.
Yeah, and you know what? Devine's a great running back, but this is not his strength running between the tackles. And Ryan Clark can, and he's fighting for extra yards. He's a big dude, and we talked about Coach Stewart. He said he wants to get back to this a little bit more. 2 tight ends in the ball game, start pounding the football. This is when you need it the most.
They pound the rock again via Clark. Start to eat some clock up and chewing up some yardage as well. In Maryland, needs 2 touchdowns to take the lead. They opted to go for that field goal. That kept them down 2 touchdowns.
Their defense was also playing really good, was holding West Virginia. West Virginia's starting to get a little bit back in a rhythm. Bleeding a little clock on the play clock now.
Maryland defensively might have been a little gas from all the work they had to do in the first half. West Virginia's found something they like, and his name is Ryan Clark.
Yeah. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
It's not as sexy as the old 7-9-1 combo of Devine, Sanders, and Austin, but it may be just as effective and doing a lot of damage right now to the play clock, to the game clock, and to the defense of Maryland.
And it starts with the big boys up front, creating a little bit of space. And then Ryan Clark is another big boy, but Gino needs to make sure he's letting that play clock run all the way down and snap it on 5, 6, 7.
Clark 11 carries for 48 yards, and that's a fullback, but looks like a tailback right now. 2nd and 6 from the 20. Boom, 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 boom. Can you say fan favorite all of a sudden?
Well, I don't know about that. I think they like their Noel Devine in space, but what a great job. You look at the feet by the big boy. He might be big. He's still got some pretty good feet. Getting up north, south, and that's not what you want to see in the secondary. The secondary likes to go low. You know, they like seeing, well, you don't like seeing Devine either, but they like seeing a smaller guy. You don't want to go in there and tackle that big old stump.
1st and goal. Approaching 5 minutes left in this one. Why not? They give to Clark. Alex Wojak with the hit for the Terps.
Yeah, when we talked with coaches yesterday, they were, Coach Stewart specifically, right when we came in the meeting room, we want to throw it around the park a little bit to set up the run, and you know, this is the part of the game where you got to lower your shoulder and you got to get the big first downs and keep the clock moving. And this is something in the past West Virginia hasn't been the best at doing, but Ryan Clark might be the answer.
The last 6 plays have been carries by Clark. Was set to be 7, but the flag came in.
False start. Offense. Number 10. 5 yards. Repeat the down.
Stedman Bailey, the redshirt freshman.
And that would be called unacceptable.
Yeah. Well, Coach not happy, but let's remind Coach Stedman Bailey does have 2 touchdown receptions today.
No, that's not what he's remembering. Coaches have short memories, but no, it's a run play. Stedman's not even involved in it whatsoever. You've got to do a better job. If you're not involved in the play at the wide receiver position, you can't be jumping off sides. That's unacceptable.
Clark stays in. Again, 6 straight carries for the fullback Ryan Clark, number 32. 2nd and goal from the 10. They go back to Clark. 7th straight touch. Stumbles just shy of the 5. Under 4 to go here. Zachariah Kerr with another tackle.
3rd down and goal. Ball for 6.
Big 6'9".
Yeah, big boy, 330.
Yeah, that jersey is stretched to its limit right there.
But this is more Maryland's game, Rob. This is what they like to do. They like to play in short quarters, and they want you to run the football. And West Virginia doing a great job of playing Maryland physical football and running downhill at them.
7 touches, 35 yards for Clark on this drive alone. More Clark. Yeah, be careful holding on to the ball at this juncture. Terps have got to be looking for a strip here. 4th and goal. That'll bring on the field goal unit for West Virginia. But Maryland will take a timeout first, their 2nd of the game. 3:11 left. West Virginia up 11. They got the field goal unit locked and loaded, trying to push the lead to 14. We'll see if they do when we return. Log on to ESPN.com/Capital One Cup to vote for the Capital One Cup Impact Performance of the Week. Geno Smith may get some votes for that one this week. 4 touchdown passes. Huge outing for the sophomore. Here in comes Tyler Bittenkurt, who had the game-winning field goal in overtime last Friday night at Marshall. This is his first field goal attempt of the day, and this one from 23. And the lead at 14.
Now it's easy to say Maryland should have kicked, or should have gone for it,
right?
down.
Well, Maryland still down by 2 touchdowns. They'll get possession when we return. Mountaineers up 14, about 3 left in this one. Oh, Dari, you just ruined David Pollock's day. You had built him up. You had him fired up about those Bulldogs. And they lose to Arkansas. There's your scoring drive for West Virginia, capped off by the Bittenkurt short field goal.
That's how you put a team away. That is how you put a team away right there when you need to.
8:52.
Yeah, I mean,
and get some points with it.
Milk the clock, get some points, go up by 2 scores.
Now here's Torrey Smith. He can return it. He's done it 3 times in his career. At the 20 and dropped it to 25. Flag on the play. Back at about the 34.
Usually offsides on the kicking
Offside
team.
on the kicking team. Number 35. 5-yard penalty from the spot of the kick. Will re-kick.
So that'll give Torrey Smith another crack at taking it to the house. Has the 2 best kickoff return seasons in Maryland history, does Torrey Smith. He also has 2 touchdown grabs today. The first from 60 yards, the second went 80 yards.
Give your player another chance.
Yeah, ACC record 1,309 kickoff return yards last season. All ACC first team kickoff returner last year. You don't want to give him another crack, and you let him scoot his feet up to the 10. And they kick a bouncing ball fielded at the 35, down shy of the 45, a pickup of 7. It was Matt Furstenberg, the tight end.
Probably a smart decision. Think about it, you got 1 timeout left. Make him go 60 yards. You kick it deep, you never know what's going to happen, especially somebody so dangerous. But I think 82 is the guy to watch. He's had a great day.
Torrey Smith, bottom of the screen. He has been the offense for Maryland today. Robinson looking left this time, though. Heaves up the big one for Cannon. Did he catch it in bounds? Incomplete.
Refs kind of staring at each other. They didn't really have a good view, but I tell you what, you're talking about giving Torrey Smith respect. It was safety over the top, covering Torrey Smith. One-on-one coverage on the backside.
Yep.
And he's definitely out of bounds, but that was a good shot. I mean, Adrian Cannon getting a shot to catch the ball. He's saying, quit throwing it to Torrey, throw it to me.
Another sack for the Mountaineer D. 7th of the game, Scooter Berry. Oh, we've been calling his name frequently here in the second half. The big 6'1", 287 junior from North Babylon, New York, over there on Strong Island with the sack.
And that's a killer. You can't take a sack this late, but there's nothing he can do. Jamar gets sacked quick.
Clock ticks. Clock ticks, and another sack. Bruce Irvin. His 3rd sack of the day.
That's 3 for Bruce. I tell you, nice little inside move real quick. He's a smaller defensive end at only about 235 pounds, but man, he is wreaking havoc in the backfield.
He's an off-the-bus kind of guy. 6'3", 235. Let him get off the bus first, and that'll quiet the people down outside the bus.
Saying, put me in defensive end a little more, Coach.
Yeah, Irvin, a highly rated junior college kid. Came from California, still learning the game, the coaches were telling us yesterday, but he's picking up something
Quick
today.
Inside move. Look at him stick his hand out there and swipe the leg.
Yeah, get that shoelace over there.
That's Denard Robinson's shoelace. Come on.
How can you play without your shoes tied like that either?
Velcro.
Look, the only thing Velcro is good for are kids' shoes who are under the age of 7.
You better tape your ankles. I do know that. But no, I tell you what, he's been outstanding, hasn't he? Denard Robinson, 885 yards, out of 1,000 yards for the season for Michigan.
I have thoughts in my head that I'm not going to say.
That's a good thing.
That's right, man. Get down. Shake it. Shake it, but don't break it.
4th and
29.
30.
They've got to cross midfield and avoid a sack. Complete, and then dropped immediately. And maybe a loose ball there, saying the ball was down at the 35. And West Virginia will take over with 2:01 left in this one, and the Mountaineers look set to go 3-0.
And Bruce Irvin again applying pressure. I mean, he's not even letting him think. You know, usually you want to take some time and, you know, scramble around a little bit in the pocket. He had no time whatsoever.
Consider Bruce Irvin 3rd on the depth chart right there at defensive end.
Might not be after today.
No. West Virginia will take over, and Maryland will, appears at least for now, still 2:01 left, take their first loss of the year. Maryland will head back home, and you can see them next Saturday at noon as they take on FIU in a little victory formation for West Virginia. I'd like to send our condolences out to the Dave Kearns family. There's Dave Kearns, head athletic trainer here for the football program since 1994. His mom, Kay, passed away on Sunday. He buried her yesterday in Pennsylvania. Drove and joined the team late last night. Has never missed a Mountaineer game as head football trainer. And he is one of the really good people in this business. I worked a lot of sideline games, and I had to rely on him on a lot of information, and he was solid to me and to his program, and just one of the really good people in college football. One of the many great people here in the West Virginia area. We talk about the fan base here in West Virginia. Our condolences also go to the Kirby family in North Charleston, South Carolina. 58-year-old Joan Kirby passed away on Tuesday. She's a West Virginia native and was a huge Mountaineer football fan. So much so, guys, that the family decided today the wake in South Carolina will be held from 4 to 6 p.m. so as not to conflict with today's game. Family together now watching that game back in South Carolina, and a note to her husband, Larry. Larry, sounds like you married a pretty great woman. Mountaineers will go to 3-0, but a huge road test next Saturday for Coach Stewart at number 15 LSU, 9 Eastern on ESPN2. But a big test in this border war was just passed by West Virginia. A game second half by Ralph Regin and the Terps, but Maryland takes their first defeat. They fall to 2-1. They are home next Saturday at noon right here on the ESPNU as they take on FIU. Sanders, Austin, Devon.